Well, welcome everyone to Aeroflow Race for Real on Wednesday, the night of nights. The track is just absolutely sensational. I do have a co-commentator here who's just madly working away with his ear mic. It's giving him dramas. I reckon we're going to have an ear rage in a moment. He's going to throw it. I can see it coming. And we do have the Bushman who will be here a little bit later and gracing us with his presence. Well, Falcon just getting out that little bit early. But I'll tell you what, the rocket lane was just belting down like a steam train. 11 to 126 miles an hour. We have the Gemini up against the Commodore. This Gemini here has been out here a few times now, so pretty quick, this little car. We do have a bit of a problem with the 60-foot over in the Aeroflow lane. It's just giving us zeros, which is not too good. But we will get that looked at. But Gemini goes through 11.1, 121 miles an hour to a 15.4 at 97 miles an hour. Commodore in the Aeroflow lane, well and truly out in front of the Statesman. Crosses the line 15.0, 95 miles an hour to a 16.8 at 87 miles an hour. Well, Commodore up against the BMW.
Test one. How you going, Mark?
Mate, absolutely sensational.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sydney Dragway. It is Aeroflow Race for Real. That's right, the Pocket Rocket is in the house. And I'll tell you what, guys, we've got an awesome lineup of Datsuns out the back. We're going to get a few interviews tonight with some of the drivers. But there are a few other cars down there, Mark, which, I'll be honest, I've never seen before. So I'll be getting a couple of words from some of the drivers down there as well. And I'll tell you what, look forward to a good night of racing. But we got the Bushman. It's here tonight as well. Of course, Steve, it'd be pretty pumped for tonight because Dattos, you know, they can be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Sometimes they can come out and surprise you.
100%. They certainly can be, Stu. And, of course, they're the arch nemesis to one of my favourite cars, which, of course, is the Escorts and Cortinas. So, certainly both had very strong motorsport ties within rally and circuit racing. Not so much drag racing, but we have certainly seen a fair share of very quick Datsuns make their way down Sydney Dragway and, of course, drag strips all around the country, usually with swapped power plants. And,
yes, indeed.
Not that the little 12 and 1500 Datsun motor and 1600 certainly punches well above its weight when you put the Webers on it. And high compression and 4 million RPM, they work pretty well. But yeah, certainly the later model engine swaps, certainly with the FJ20.
They do, yes. Yep.
SRs, and then of course we see ones that are slightly more modified with Barra 6s in them and that sort of thing. Yeah, definitely always an exciting car to watch.
Yeah. I was actually wandering through the pits and through the staging lanes, and I did see a Toyota Crown out there with lots of stickers all over it, so it looks like it does a fair bit of different types of racing.
Yes, and I think yeah, the Datsun Club certainly do have a strong motorsport tie, especially across the road that with their roll racing and that sort of thing. They actually have pretty much a whole night. There's pretty much anything with a Datsun badge on it is there. And they've got some super nice cars and a lot of money being spent on them in terms of appearance and, of course, horsepower as well.
A message come through via the live stream from Halil Mustafa from the House of LS asking, should I come out tonight? Well, it's a simple yes, Halil. You should bring the Commodore out because Mark's here. He's already pumped. So, and you're bringing a Holden out. We know it's quick. So bring it.
Bring it out and bring all your friends.
Absolutely. All right, boys, I'm going to duck outside. I'll leave you, everybody, to Mark and Steve up here in the commentary box. Enjoy the racing.
All right, thanks, Stu.
Thank you very much, Stu. Of course, out there tonight, it's not as cold as it has been in Western Sydney the last couple of nights. It's not too bad at the moment. So hopefully we get some good racing in this week. And a lot of people here to support, of course, the Real Datto Foundation, which is fantastic. I had a quick chat to a couple of drivers in the scrutineering lines, and they were here because of that tie with that foundation. So certainly good to see the motoring community getting behind the Real Datto charity.
Yep.
Of course, is also bringing awareness to safe driving, of course. And of course, as always tonight, we're going to see a good range of all sorts of cars out there, Mark. But one of the cars I did spy in the scrutineering lane is, I think, it's XR or XT Falcon.
The blue one?
The blue one, yes, with the B-lock wheels on it. And that absolutely gorgeous blue paint. That certainly is what caught my attention under the lights. I did ask the driver the colour, and he said it's a custom mix. So yeah, there's probably not. Oh, the Mustang getting very out of shape off the on the hit of the throttle there.
I was actually sitting down at the Fuel Cafe getting a coffee, and when they were rolling that off the trailer, and when it fired up, Jesus, it's nice.
So he has told me that he'll be doing perhaps not full power passes tonight. It's a pretty new combination.
Okay.
Just wants to build on getting the start line right, and then moving further down. There is other performance additions installed, but they won't be being used.
Okay.
Usually, I've been told, in the form of some sort of chemical induction.
that little spray stuff.
Yes, that's it.
I just bring it out, full noise it. Best way to run them in.
Exactly right. Victor leaving the start line nicely with a 1:44 reaction time. The Falcon in the other lane lifting the front wheels off the deck, and we'll get there first across the finish line, way over towards the wall though. I will just say 10.73 with a 1:22 for the Falcon. Nice strong run there, and Victor's time unfortunately has escaped me in the Aeroflow lane there.
Too quick, but I'll tell you what, that big block is plenty in it.
Yes.
That thing, like dragging that much weight, there's probably 2 ton of metal there.
Yes. It's got to have plenty in it to A, punch the hole in the air and get that mass moving. It's two things that aren't necessarily...
Yep. As we say, it's about as aerodynamic as a brake. It's a brick, that thing. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't hang around, and he can steer that thing so well.
That it does. The other car in his stable is a little bit quicker, but certainly a fun car to watch as well if you like wheel stands. 13.62 with a 107 mile an hour for the Aeroflow lane to a 12.90 at 109 in the Rocket lane there.
What have we got down here in the Rocket lane? Is that a...
Well, boys, just about to come out in the Rocket lane. He's about to get under the tunnel. He's probably about 3 cars behind. We've got one of the brands, like a brand spanking new Chevy Camaro, Mark. It's not the black one that we've seen here a couple of times before, which has got the radials on the rear end of it. This one looks a little bit more stock standard, but looks can be deceiving. We look forward to seeing the big Chevy SS Camaro come out too. It's a beautiful looking car. The unmistakable adversary of the Mustang. First timer as well. But I'll tell you what, guys, the staging lanes and scrutineering shed is looking great. We've got plenty of cars making their way around and through. So I reckon we're going to have a bumper night tonight, boys. And the best part is when it's busy, it means I'm busy. And it means that we can get our drivers interviewed, learn about their cars. And more importantly, as we say a lot, you know, if you've got a workshop, guys, that's helping you out in your car, let me know. Because I'll let Steve and Mark know via the live stream. Now, speaking about the live stream, guys, we've got a $500 voucher up for grabs from Odyssey Batteries, and that's actually been given out to the best performing street registered car or bike tonight. Of course, we've got a lot of Dattos here tonight, so some of the Dattos around the back, boys, are so well presented, and I reckon they've probably got the power to boot. So just all the races out the back, guys, there is a $500 voucher from Odyssey Batteries up for grabs. We'll be letting people know who won it around 9 o'clock, but to get your votes in, guys, you've got to go on to YouTube, go on to the chat and put your votes in, and the boys upstairs will be keeping an eye on all the messages that are coming through from around the world. Back up to you, boys.
Thank you very much, Stu. We've had a couple of good runs down the track while you've been talking there, but of course, a lot of big burnouts too. The night air is still already, we can see that smoke building on the start line, and Mark and I are looking through a fog at the moment.
We are indeed. Yeah, looks like we're in the moors.
Yes. And of course, in the Aeroflow lane, Sammy Jo Johnson in her VE Commodore leading with a 1:42 reaction time.
Oh, just on the brakes real early. No?
No.
Yep. Okay. All right. So there you go. Alright. So the brake lights are coming on, but it's not the brakes. No. It's a bit of an issue with the pedal box when they went from manual to auto. And it's a bit of a little problem, niggling problem they're trying to sort out at the moment. So she said she's not braking, she's still full noise. It's just a problem with the brake switch. Whoa!
Commodore Ute getting a little bit tail happy at around the 330 foot marker. We heard the boost come in, and then the tyre said I can't hang on anymore, and the back end of the car moved around quite a bit. Both Mark and I looked at that at the same time and had the same reaction.
I'll tell you what's good save. He's done the right thing. Yes. Yep, indeed. He didn't jump out of it. He eased out of it. So kept the car under balance, and just brought the power back on when it got a little bit more stable. So definitely done the right thing.
Yeah, 092 light for the car in the Aeroflow lane at the moment. Runs through for a 12.96 with an 108 mile an hour, and a 10.79 with a 9 at 124 for the car in the rocket lane there.
Yeah, that's good time.
All right, little Datsun 1600 taking on the Nissan Silvia in the rocket lane over there.
Silvia looks fairly set out. It's got the chute on the back.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say stock there. I'm like, what?
Yeah. No, it's well equipped by the looks.
You got the parachute on the back, usually a pretty good indicator of what's going to happen. You can see it building some speed from half track onwards, and 11.94 with a 2 at 127 mile an hour.
Yeah, miles an hour way up there.
Yep.
And 14.6 at 100 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane.
Yeah, look, the Silvia there was 2.3 seconds to the 60, so certainly a fair bit more left in that.
Well, we've got the little Datsun Sunny.
one of our regulars on the stream, Panel Van Man. I've just seen your post about a tractor pull running 120 pounder boost. Check, do yourself a favour and Google 189 pounder boost. It's a diesel pickup in the US. There's quite a few videos of it. I've watched a few of them. Some of them do a really good dyno pull of, I think, like there's a 3 in front of the numbers, right? So we're talking pretty serious horsepower. And there's already, and there's also some with some parts that don't stay within the engine.
I was going to say, is the 3 for 3 seconds they stay together?
No, 3 is,
I'm
pretty sure it's like 3,000 and something at the tyres, right? So it's pretty special horsepower figures. But yeah, there's a couple of fails there, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And when you're pushing that sort of boost, I don't think there's much left. When something says I'm not playing the game anymore,
yep.
It's usually pretty catastrophic.
Yeah, well, that type of boost, like they must have their head studs going through the block and into the cross member to hold it together.
Like a big sandwich plate. And then there's wire straps around that just to make sure that if they do let go, they're contained onto the engine. And the little Datto Ute, a 1366 with an 8,109 mile an hour.
And 23.5, 57 miles an hour.
Actually, that little Datto would have been a good run against my Escort.
Yeah, okay. We've got the Toyota Crown down in the rocket lane. So it'll be interesting for Stu to grab him a little bit later, just find out what forms of motor racing he is involved in.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of this, of what we've got here at Sydney Dragway. You don't have to come out with a specifically built drag car. You can, you can certainly adapt. I guess from a circuit point of view, your gear ratios might not be ideal, but still you can come out here and have a bit of fun.
Yeah, you can. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, most of the cars here and bikes, the gear ratio is probably not ideal if it's an everyday driver.
Yeah.
Unless you've started to tinker with. But, you know, the circuit guys change stiff gears pretty regularly. I know in the Cortina Club they do, depending on what track they're at.
Well, a lot of guys keep, like, if they're a centre, a full spare centres were set up ready to go with different ratios, because they do for different tracks.
Yes.
So.
Not a bad race between those two, only about a tenth of a second across the finish line in terms of ET. Strong burnout from the Aeroflow lane, Mark.
Yeah, Falcon I think it was. And a fair lane over in the rocket lane, or is it an LTD?
Hey, Steve and Mark, we've got a 1971 Holden Premier that is about to come out through the tunnel.
Is that the black one?
Looks beautiful.
The dark blue one with the hubcaps on it, is that the one you're talking about?
There is a black one down there as well.
Yeah, I got to say, boys, it's still fairly original on the inside, but I'll be interested to see what they get out of it. Got the couple of guys here from Super Street as well here today. Brett Stutchbury is here tonight, and his son Aidan is going to be racing his Commodore as well. Brett's just giving you a couple of hits tonight before he changes the suspension in the car. Apparently he's going to go to Shockworks and gets a few things changed on the car, Steve. So it'll be interesting to see how it progresses once he does that. But I'll tell you what, this car down here, 2000 GT, this thing I saw in the pits when I was walking back from upstairs. I have never seen this type of skyline before, Steve. It is sensational. Like, I'm going to get an interview with this driver when he gets back, because I want to find out more about it.
It's a shame you don't have a helmet. You could just jump in with him. No, a very rare car about to run down the racetrack in the Aeroflow lane. I've seen a couple of them at a Cars and Coffee near me.
Okay, yep.
But I could count how many I've seen on one hand of this particular car in the Aeroflow lane. Very, very nice little 1200 coupe over there in the rocket lane. We saw the 1200 coupe in the previous run get very, very crossed up. I thought he was going to come around and have the rear end past the front, but he didn't. Little 1200 ute going through the burnout, also looking very nice under lights. 15.49 with a 5, 92 mile an hour for the car in the rocket lane. And a 15.99 with a 2 at 87 for the Skyline that was in the Aeroflow lane there.
Sydney Dragway made some noise for the little ute, winding it up in the burnout. Yeah, I can tell it's going to be a good night, boys.
We got the VS Commodore right beside him.
Oh, the Commodore moving around on the hit, went 174 to the 60. Well, Datto ute goes just over 2 seconds to the 60. I don't think that's representative of what that car's going to run, but 11.01 with a 6, 125 miles an hour through the finish line.
Didn't that come on strong top end?
Yeah, 125 is a good mile an hour for that ET.
And 18.2 at 52 miles an hour for the Datto. We've got the Black Track Falcon up against Joe Sabello. Two very stout cars.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Falcon went into the 8s last week or the week before.
Yep.
Randall Graham taking on, of course, Joe Sabello. Both cars forced induction. Falcon with a turbo. Datsun with the Pro Charger, of course. 046 on the tree for Joe. Falcon off in hot pursuit. Sabello through the finish line. 8.91 with a 9 at 154 and a 9.0. Look at the speed, Mark. 162 mile an hour. So he's carried 8 mile an hour more than Joe and was a tenth slower.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, nice strong burnout from the Prem.
Now, boys, Michael Riches is racing tonight on his 750 Suzuki, but tonight, boys, he's doing something slightly different. He's actually added the nitrous onto the bike tonight, so going to be interesting to see how he goes with that. Obviously, that's a bit of a learning curve, coming NA to nitrous, but he's been practicing his purges. I did suggest, Steve, that we get a little photo of Matty Kavanagh's head and put it on his bike with the purge written underneath it.
I'm sure Matty would love that. I don't know how Michael would feel about having Matty's face on his bike, but you know. But, I think he said it's a 35 shot.
Okay.
So I'll say in car speak, it's probably not that much, but on a bike, an extra 35 is a fair improvement.
Yeah, when you start talking power to weight.
Yes. You see that smoke just lingering around in this cauldron here. It's only early days. Looks like the Aeroflow lane is going to take it, Mark. 12.67 with a 7, 108 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 13.7 at 100 miles an hour for the rocket lane.
We can panel van, man. We can see. Not very well, but we can. Pretty close on the reaction times in this run. Looks like the rocket lane has the performance advantage as well and will cross the finish line 10.49 with a 5, 145 miles an hour.
And 12.6 at 118 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane.
Michael, down here in the Aeroflow lane, guys, and big thank you to Aeroflow Performance for their continued support of Race for Real here on a Wednesday night here at Sydney Dragway. Michael Riches down here. See how he goes, boys.
All right, our next pair of bikes about to be given the Christmas tree countdown. We can see that second pair of white lights on, telling the starter that they're ready to go. A rocket lane away nicely with a 181 reaction time. Big wheels up launch for the bike in the Aeroflow lane.
Wouldn't be a two-stroke, would it?
I'm going to say I'm hoping that's a two-stroke, because if it's not, there's issues. 12.86 with a 0, 122 mile an hour.
And 12.5, 110 miles an hour.
Well, boys, we've got Issa back tonight in his Evo. Now, his goal tonight is simply to run a 10. That's all he wants to do. If he does it on this pass, he's going to park the car and he'll just watch for the rest of the night.
No, you got to back
where's
it
the
up.
fun in that?
Yeah. You got to then go for a low 10.
Yeah, that's right. Is it the focus, I think, in the Aeroflow lane? Just gets pipped at the finish line. 0.3 of a second. The gap gets there with a 13.37, 122 mile an hour. So big speed.
Yeah, indeed.
I think the front wheel drive there probably contributing to the 60 foot, but certainly a good pass.
We've got Glenn down here in the Commodore wagon, and Stephen Mark tonight, the little Gemini wagon, has got the radials on the rear end.
Did he have the radials on last week, Stu?
Well, another first pass. He come out and run a really good low 11-second pass. Well, 12.0, 121 miles an hour. Definitely lost a fair bit in the 60.
So what do you do there, Mark, given the car's probably got somewhat limited adjustment there? Do you just start letting the tyres down, or what?
Yeah, if he hasn't played with the tyre pressures, I'd probably start looking at the tyre pressure, start working with a bit of heat in the tyres.
Yes.
Just play around that area. Because it did, from memory, it was a real low 11.
Yes.
Previous pass, so maybe just this time it just turned tyres.
Well, I mean, too, that as the engine will get hotter, you get the heat sink and all that sort of thing. So, you know, the heat can certainly be an issue, especially with the turbo pumping all that hot air into the engine bay and then feeding itself that, and getting hotter and hotter. And I can see on the start line there, Mark, one of Stewie's favourite cars. And of course, the RX-7. Looks like he's going to go on his own.
Well, boys, just here in the staging lanes and just standing next to this gorgeous Skyline 2000 GT. It just went down the track. This thing is awesome. We've got the driver here. Hey, mate, first of all, what's your name, mate?
David.
David, welcome to Aeroflow Race for Real, mate. Mate, tell me a little bit about your Skyline.
Well, it's a 1971 GT. Runs an L Series, L28, triple carbs. Anyone can come and have a look. It's pretty sexy. And we first go at the drags, and we're here with the Datsun Club. So we're having a great night, and that was 40 PSI, so we're going to try now with 25, and we'll see how we go.
I'll tell you what, mate, it looked like an absolute cracker of a pass. To say being behind the wheel would have been a great experience, taking something not only this beautiful, but I guess you could say this rare as well down the drag strip.
So I was just saying to the boys, halfway down the strip, this is my first go, the car sort of went away from me, and I thought, oh, here we go. So I took my foot off the pedal, but I think next time we'll just keep into it, and it looks like there is plenty of traction there. I was just freaking out a little bit, but yeah, good fun. Really good fun.
Well, mate, it is a credit to you to have not only you, but the car here as well. And most of all, huge thank you to the Datsun Club.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, we've got the president sitting over there. He's on a walking frame by the looks of him, but no, he's, you know, a good supporter of all motorsports here. So, and the boys, we've done the 6 hour this year. The boys are going to Phillip Island. Oh, no, they've been to Phillip Island. They're going to a couple of weeks, just do track days and all that. It's just good to get everybody together.
Absolutely, it is. And hey, what better way to get people together than here at Sydney Dragway and race for real?
Oh, well, I just hope I don't have to take on this Falcon behind me because I tell you, he's going to smoke me. But anyway.
Well, it's great to have you here, David, and we look forward to seeing more of you and your car here at Sydney Dragway. Back to you boys upstairs.
Well said, Stu.
Thanks, mate.
Well said. And of course, it's not all about winning. There's no trophies here tonight about what's the quickest car. It's all about coming out and having a bit of fun and testing yourself and seeing how your car can go. And then, like Dave just said, he's making a small change in the hope of in being able to be a little bit more aggressive off the start line. Drop the tyre pressures down from, what do you say, 40 PSI down to 25. So certainly that's a fair drop. So you know, if he feels that's what's going to get him a little bit better 60 foot, then so be it. But definitely a cool car. I mean, I look at the front of them definitely as a bigger brother of the 1600.
Yep, yeah. And it looks like it's a well-optioned car too.
Yes.
It had the ragtop sunroof in it. And yeah, so yeah, as Stu said, a very rare car.
Yeah, as I said before, I think I've only ever seen there be less than 5 that I've seen, and I do go to a reasonable number of car events around, and yeah, it's always good to see something a little bit different on the road, of course.
It's good to see too. It's got the triples on it.
Yes.
You know, like it was not a real lot of cars come out with the carbs, and I would dare say they're probably SUs.
I was just going to ask that. Do you reckon they're Webers or they're SUs? But
if they're a factory thing, I'd say they're probably SUs.
yes.
And just them in their own are a handful to keep in tune.
Yes. One of those cars not sounding particularly happy off the start line there, but the Skyline in the rocket lane, the R34 at 14.58 with a 116 mile an hour, and I think the Aeroflow lane has had to roll on down there for a 20.3 second pass at only 39 mile an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely didn't sound too happy off the line for sure.
Little 1200 sedan running down the racetrack, keeping the Commodore Ute very honest as he makes his way down the racetrack. 13.07, 110 mile an hour for the Ute in the rocket lane to a 14.46 at 106. So not too much in the speed department there, the difference.
Stu just sent us a picture of the motor in the Skyline. I'm not sure what they are.
They're not an SU.
No, they're not an SU, no. And I don't think they're a Weber either.
They're Delauto maybe, but it proves that he does listen to us.
Yes, he does. I can understand if he just ignored us. That's understandable.
R35 Skyline on the start line, taking on the Subaru.
Okay.
Skyline inching into the staging beams. What do we decide? Strongbergs. They do look more like an SU, don't they? They've got the bell on the top. .11.19 with a 127 miles an hour there for the Skyline. Nice pass for that car, and a 15 flat for the Subaru in the rocket lane there.
We might have to send Stu back round and have a yak to the man. The
yeah.
Skyline.
Dave seemed pretty approachable. I'm sure he won't mind.
Yeah. Could be a Delauto.
Well, they kind of look like Webers, don't they?
Mm. So a quick little bit of a mop up down in the rocket lane.
Of course, if you are running your air conditioning, please switch it off.
Yes.
To all our drivers out there.
Because where they're mopping up at the moment, when you do your burnout and you come to a stop, that is when all that water sitting in the evaporator runs out. And that's about the time that the starter will roll you out.
Yes, and unfortunately for you, if it rolls under your tyres and you do the run, then that's going to be that run wasted. Not to mention it's unsafe.
Absolutely.
The Honda in the Aeroflow lane, taking on this Mustang, sounding pretty tough in the burnout there, Mark.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, Ben wants to know if it's going to do Mustang things, but we'll soon find out. Probably in about, I reckon, 5 seconds, Ben. We'll get a pretty good indication. Definitely spun the tyres on the hit even after that big burnout. But he did go straight. Good point. But at the moment, the Honda's gone dead straight down the racetrack. No messing about. 14.43, 100 mile an hour.
And 19.1 at 63 miles an hour for the Mustang. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, XE or XD?
I need to see the front.
XD, yep.
D, because the bonnet doesn't wrap down the front. Is that right? That's right, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, they've got the short nose.
Where the E is like the F that comes down between the headlights. And the Falcon is going to take this one out, 11.86 with a 7, 116 miles an hour through the finish line.
And 12.2 at 120 miles an hour. Well, LX Tirana down in the Aeroflow lane. Nice looking car.
Very nice looking car, Mark. I walked past this one in the staging lanes earlier tonight. And a very, very nice car. The big Simmons on it. And, you know, we can see the roll cage through the back window, very nicely trimmed out, and looking really, really nice in this blue as well.
Really nice when you've got the flares on them, because if you've got all the wheel arches cut out properly and everything, you can put a great set of tyres under the back.
A bit of wheel spin, the sound of it, and you can just see the shock go through the body of the Falcon on the launch. Just like dead hook and then move to the left, to the right, I beg your pardon. And didn't quite get there on the Tirana. 13.58 with a 3, 105 in the Aeroflow lane.
And 10.6, 123 miles an hour. I'll tell you, well, that's enough to chip your door edges.
Yes, yeah, it would. It would. You'd want to make sure the latches are all, haven't got much play in them.
I've got to say, when your car does that, it's a lot of fun off the line.
Yes.
But does nothing for your 60s. And
no.
Yeah, Tirana used to do that. Quick visit to Rod Andrews when he done the cage. He built the stabiliser bar into the back.
Yes.
So you could preload it.
Yep.
Never again.
Took all the fun out of it though. Victor lined up in the big Chevy, was aiming well over towards the left-hand side of the lane, but brings it back to the centre now, and runs an 11.39 with a 4, 118 miles an hour, and the Commodore in the rocket lane, the GTS, an 11.68 with a 6. Yeah, wow, panel van man. We're just talking about tyre sizes on cars. He's just posted on the YouTube chat that he's got 295s on his XE Falcon. with stock guards. Commodores leaving the start line. Looks like the Aeroflow lane got the better of the launchers. Not too much in the 60-foot, but at that point in the racetrack, every little bit counts, and the Aeroflow lane will take the win. 13:38 with an 8. 107 miles an hour through the finish line.
And 13.9 at 100 miles an hour for the Rocket lane. Well, Commodore versus Commodore. Now, to come up against a bit of an unusual problem. So, since Holden have stopped producing in Australia, if you've got a VF SS red line,
yes,
and you damage the front bar, you can't buy them in Australia. They're just non-existent. Second-hand ones, non-existent. In the States, you can buy them in the States
as a GDO.
But they won't export them to Australia.
Surely someone could make a mould.
Well, supposedly there is a company that's picked it up, and I've had a car sitting around for 3 months waiting for a bumper part. Supposedly whoever's building them now should have them done by the end of the month. But yeah, it's terrible that we export over to the States and now they're just not going to return the favour.
Not ideal. But you think they'd just pump out more of them? Like what? I don't see the issue.
Yeah.
All right, guys, well, I'm down in the staging lanes, and I'm standing next to Mark, who is the driver of this beautiful-looking Datsun 260C. Now, it's not a third of Crown. It's something that we don't generally see a lot of. Tell us a little bit about it, Mark.
It's a 1971 Datsun 240C. It's got a 2.8-litre straight 6 motor in it. It's a 6-speed gearbox, limited slip diff. It's set up for circuit pretty much, but it's still street registered. So I'm able to drive it to the track and then hopefully drive it home in one piece if we can get there. So yeah, that sums it up. I've had it for, I've had it since about 2005. I got it as a wreck from a workshop, and the guy said to me, he said, hey, look, I've got this car you might be interested in. And I've always been interested in these old sort of sleds. And the guy said to me, he said, you should come and see this. And I said, why is that? And he said, because it's only got 2 doors. And I said, oh, I'll be there shortly. So anyway, I went there, and of course it was mine straight away. I had no reservations in getting it. And then it's been a work in progress for a long time. But it's come to the point now where I'm pretty happy with it. We're going down to Benalla and Winton Motor Raceway next week to do the Festival of Speed. So I've just started my holidays as of this afternoon. So what better way to start the holidays to come and do a bit of drag racing? So
tell me a little bit about the car, because obviously when you got it, it probably wasn't in the condition that it's in now. Did it come with a full interior, or was it stripped out already?
Look, I've tried to keep as much of the interior as I can because I believe that's part of the character and appeal of the vehicle. So yeah, it's got the back seats removed and is now engineered as a 2-seater. I didn't really need the back seat, so it just became surplus to needs, you know what I mean? So the only thing that's really missing from the interior is a roll cage, and because I do circuit, it's probably something I should really get moving on. But the rest of it, like the dashboard and everything else, I tried to keep it original. It's got still the original hood lining on it, the door cards. So when you get in there, as I said, you still get the vibe of the fact that it's a limousine, and it was originally designed as a limousine, but I've had my way with it. So I've changed a few things here and there, so yeah.
And tell me a little bit about the motor, Mark. Is it fairly basic setup in the car, or have you gone down a different route than what you planned?
Like I said before, it's been an evolution. I started off with a fairly basic L28 motor, and it had a Holly 4-barrel on it, and I really liked that, and it worked well for me. But then I've gone to fuel injection, and now I've got triple throttles, and I've had the engine built, and it's making a lot of power. For this engine, it's a lot of power, so I'm really happy with it.
Well, that's awesome. As another Datsun Skyline comes past, don't worry about him. That's just Joe being Joe. That's just Joe being Joe.
So, no, I'm really happy with it. I had Adam Nish from Just Engine Management work the motor over. He did the tune on it. And he's a lovely guy. If anyone's had any experience with him, they know what I'm talking about. But, he's done a fantastic job on the tune, and the car's performing really well.
And Mark, what lap time roughly would you get around the circuit with this car?
Look, I did the North Circuit a couple of weekends back. I had a PB of 1 minute 19 and I went down to 1 minute 17.7. So I managed to knock it down quite considerably. On the GP circuit, it should be a 1:54 second car, which surprises a lot of people. Yeah.
Absolutely, it surprises me too because, it still looks like a very basic setup. Well, mate, I'll strap in because you're about to go.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care, guys. Back up to you upstairs.
Yeah, thanks there, Stu.
Yeah, what a fantastic backstory. I mean, just listening to him talk is definitely keen on the car and has put a lot of effort into it.
Yep.
But 1971, that thing must have been an import because we're talking about the other Datsun down here earlier,
yes.
the Skyline, and
Yep.
that was 71 as well. So I'm just wondering if either of those cars. I don't think either of them would have been released to the general public here. I'd imagine that they would have been imported.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. 'Cause
Yeah.
when I saw it in the pits, I honestly thought it was a Crown.
Yeah, okay.
And just walking past it. Didn't even pick up that it was a two-door.
Yes. No, I mean, I think finding parts for some of those cars would be not an easy task.
No.
Maybe from Japan there might be a few people making reproduction stuff
Yep.
and that sort of thing. But good to see that he's kept with the original engine, even though he's put his spin on it. And that's the beauty of cars. You can do pretty much
Yes.
whatever you like. Like we've just seen Toyota Lexus do a burnout, and I'm pretty sure it had an LS in it. Definitely not the Toyota engine. If my ears are telling my brain correctly. And the 12.25 with a 112 mile an hour, and the Camaro in the Aeroflow lane, Mark, at 12.69 with a 6 at 115.
Yeah, well, compare the prices to those two and see which one won.
Yes, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but no, it's good to see those cars out there and being used. It's
Yes.
not always about having them sitting in the garage. And certainly if he's doing a 154 around the GP circuit, that's no slouch. I mean, it's not a V8. I'm not going to compare it to a V8 supercar, but I think they were doing like 135 something. Is roughly around the time that they run around there. And for that car to be not that far behind it in comparison, we're talking 50 years of development difference there.
And he drives it drove it out tonight.
Yeah.
We'll drive it back home.
Yep.
So it's got streetability as well.
Actually sounded a little bit like Adrian Hodgson, I reckon, if you've ever worked with Adrian, one of our commentators and presenters here, of course, with NDRC. Sammy Joe Johnson, 11.55 with a 118 mile an hour there, to a 10.78 with a 7 for the Holden HG that was in the rocket lane there.
That car has been around for a long time.
The HG?
Yep.
Yes.
Datto getting a little bit out of shape off the line.
Still not a representative 60 foot to what we'd expect. 10.85 with an 8 at 126 mile an hour in the Aeroflow lane. Another strong pass.
Yep, and 11.1, 149 miles an hour, like nearly 150 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's definitely making the horsepower at the top end of the racetrack.
Yes.
It's just not happening at the front end. Real Datto's on the start line now. We got that very nice white ute in the Aeroflow lane, taking on the 1600 over there in the rocket lane.
It's so well prepared, that little 1600. Well, they both are. They're both really mint-looking cars.
good bit of pedal work happening there off the start line, I think. The white ute, a lot better run this time, 2-0 to the 60. Out in front of the 1600, 13.43 with a 9 at 106.
And
14.95 there in the rocket lane.
Indeed.
Were you waiting for me?
No, I had a bit of a mental blank.
You were just listening to the
I was
to the induction sound of the that's down here in the rocket lane. Of course, Mark, we were just speaking to. Chirping the tyres at the gear change there. And a 13.56 with a 102 mile an hour. Not a bad run at all.
Yeah, not a bad pass. 22.5 at 60 miles an hour. So he's crossing the line in 4th gear.
Yes.
So that 6 speed would just hardly be working.
Not in this instance, it's not.
Well, just remember, ladies and gentlemen, log on to YouTube, go to the live stream and put your votes in for the best performing street car tonight. We do have a $500 voucher up for grabs, courtesy of Odyssey Batteries. So it doesn't matter if you're here at the track or wherever you are around the world. Get your votes in, guys. It is Aeroflow Race for Real. It is our Datsun theme night, and the Datsun Club, they are putting on a show tonight. Now, moving forward, looking forward as well, guys, if you love these theme nights, our next theme night is going to be Super Night. So if you've got any mates that have got a Toyota Supra, get involved, because the Super Club are going to be coming out and they're going to be doing exactly what the Datsun Club are doing, coming out in force and putting on a show for everybody via the live stream, but most of all here at the track.
Thank you very much there, Stu. The little green 1600 at 12.64 with a 114 miles an hour in the Aeroflow lane there.
Well, here's this real mint-looking XR Falcon you were talking about there earlier, Steve.
Yeah, mint is the word. Taking on a very nice little 1200 coupe over there in the Aeroflow lane. I think the Falcon might just have this one. Never say never. Just lifting the front wheels on the lead for the Falcon.
So you're saying this thing's got a new combination in it?
Yep, and he did say that he was going to probably only go to half track, and that's pretty much what he did.
Yep, a 1.52 60 foot.
Yep.
So it's definitely getting off the line really well.
Little 1200 ute in the Aeroflow lane, taking on the Falcon over there in the rocket lane, Mark. I think these two smoked us out last time.
Yeah, they like the burnouts.
And the Datto ute says, see you at the finish line. 11.0 with a 9. 134 mile an hour.
And 14.6, 99 miles an hour.
Wow, 134. That's huge, huge speed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on the model Ben for the Fairlane, but it's certainly a block of flats about to make its way down. We should get this thing in Victor doing battle, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Victor definitely performance advantage. We're just talking about sheer weight of car going down the racetrack, though.
Indeed.
The little Datto off in hopper shoot. I don't think he's going to catch him here, Mark.
No, I don't think so either.
17.85 with a 5 at 77 for the Fairlane, and a 13.03 at 102 for the Datsun.
I actually thought the Datto would have been a lot quicker than that. It seemed to be pulling that Fairlane in so quickly, top end of the track.
This was the dark coloured Holden that I saw
black
in here with
Premier.
that. Was it black or dark blue? I always swore it was dark blue.
Oh,
I can't sell you now because I can't see it, but
it's black, can't you see?
it looks grey to me from here. 146 to the 6 off the reaction time there, and a 13.43 with a 7, 117 mile an hour. So definitely a lot left in that, judging by the mile per hour.
Yep. And 13.4 for the car in the rocket lane. Look, another Datto coupe in the rocket lane.
Yep, always I quite like the little 1200 coupe. Taking on the 1600 over there in the Aeroflow lane. Or the coupe with the four-way flashes at the finish line. A little bit cheeky. 15.31 with a 3, 77 mile an hour.
And 15.5, 87 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane.
I think the result would have been a little bit different if the rocket lane didn't have as good a reaction time as it did. Here's this green ute again.
Yeah, very skatey there, isn't it?
It is. There's a haze of smoke coming off those tyres to probably about 200 feet. And the 1200 is keeping him honest and only just misses out. 15.38 with a 9 at 103.
And 15.0 at 124 miles an hour. So it just needs to get a bit of traction.
Yeah. Yep.
Commodore Ute in the rocket lane against the Datto. I'll tell you what, Steve, we might go up to the big screen.
Yes.
We'll get a few words from our sponsors, and we'll be back very, very shortly. Here, Aeroflow, Race for Real, Datto night.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird,
Oh, that's mine.
the Combi for when we want to get away, the XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Hey, Mark. I just got the finger thrown up at me because I was, you know, just talking about Chaz Mostert winning in the Mustang. Back to you guys.
I just have a really personal trust with VP Racing Fuels.
Running on the ragged edge of blowing up and not, a lot of it has to do with the race fuel, and that's what we rely on, VP Racing Fuels.
VP has been making racing fuel for 43 years. They're the official fuel of multiple top series globally, no matter where we are. Always perfect and exactly what we're expecting and our tuners expecting. They support myself, my Drift Alliance bros, and for that, I'm extremely thankful. Keep making amazing fuels, and we'll keep out there having fun.
Are you a motoring enthusiast? Shannon's are giving you the chance to win a USA Supercars drive experience at the Circuit of the Americas and Las Vegas racetracks. Drive a Ferrari, Lamborghini,
Aeroflow, famous for our massive range of hose, fittings and performance products. Air filters, oil filters, fittings, engine and transmission parts, fuel systems, tanks, silicone hose, exhaust, air conditioning, turbo and nitrous accessories and more. Get your free catalogue and shop online now at aeroflowperformance.com.
Aeroflow Performance are truly the modern shifter for the modern age. Featuring a full bespoke billet case, all shifters are designed for right-hand drive vehicles with an LED lit gear position indicator, available in either ratchet or gated options, as well as OEM replacement shifters for popular Holden and Ford vehicles. A large range of bank shift spares are available for each shifter that include shifter cables, brackets, lever and gate kits, transbrake buttons and drum boxes for the ideal mounting solution. Shift into gear and check out a full listing at aeroflowperformance.com.
How would it be if we funded a pilot program for you to run that enabled you to bring some vision impaired kids onto the Saints Play program?
Oh wow, that would mean the world. My reward is the smile on the kids' faces.
And since you've given so much to others, we'd also like to do something for you personally. How would it feel if Pepper sent you, your partner, and your daughter Molly to the Gold Coast for a few days?
Awesome. I don't know what to say. It's amazing me. Thank you very much.
Stay informed, up to date, and entertained thanks to the Western Weekender. The Western Weekender is Penrith's leading free and local newspaper, delivering the best content from on-the-ground journalists and providing businesses with direct access to potential customers. News, sport, entertainment, puzzles, and so much more. The Western Weekender is the heartbeat of Penrith, and it's out every Thursday. Get your free copy at selected locations in the area, home delivered, or check out westernweekender.com.au.
Turbochargers from Aeroflow Performance are designed for the automotive enthusiast who wants optimal performance at a competitive price. We have a range of turbochargers in both ceramic ball bearing and 360-degree journal bearing options to suit your power goals from 200 up to 3,000 horsepower. To help turbocharge your vehicle, Aeroflow Performance also have a large range of turbocharger accessories, from steam pipe turbo manifolds, external wastegates, and intake and exhaust solutions. You can have your car boosted in no time. For a full listing, check out aeroflowperformance.com.
Speed Addict Clothing Co. Fast clothes for fast people. Shop now at speedaddictco.com.au.
I have this incredible drive to succeed. I've just got this ambition, I want to get on the podium. I think there's a lot of people that have an older mentality and don't think women belong in motorsport. And that's one thing I'd like to prove a lot of people wrong. It's you in the car and it's your ambition and your drive to win. As soon as that helmet goes on, that's it. I'm Brooke Newson. I'm a sprint car and outlaw car driver.
All right, guys, we are back. Aeroflow, race for Real Datto night. Nothing like the sound of a two-stroke Suzuki GT 750. Ten free, 130 miles an hour. Go back into the cars again. Real Datto crosses the line at 12.9, 103 miles an hour to an 18.4 at 66 miles an hour. Got the Gemini panel van back out again. Bit of turning tyres off the line. Goes through 11.8, 122 miles an hour to a 14.5, 99 miles an hour. Falcon up against the Commodore Ute. Commodore Wagon. Wagon carrying a passenger. Well, good reaction time for the Aeroflow lane. 0.017. And takes a win. 15.8, 92 miles an hour to a 16.7, 82 miles an hour. Skyline in the Rocket lane up against the Datsun 1600 down in the Aeroflow lane. Waiting on the skyline and bring on that last light. .13.1, 118 miles an hour to a 13.4 for the Aeroflow lane. BMW Coupe over in the Rocket lane up against the Ford Falcon. The Beamer just went past the Ford if it was standing still.
Yes.
10.2, 135 miles an hour.
Well, he was nearly double his speed at half track, in fairness. 108 at half track, 10.24 with a 5, 135 mile an hour. And a little bit of light mopping on the start line there for our track crew down there.
Yeah, just a little bit of condensation. Quite possible it's coming out of the exhaust as well now.
Yes, because as the night air cools, it gets a little bit denser, of course, makes a little bit more horsepower.
It's good to see all these different places now making all these go fast bits for these Beamers, and those types of cars now.
Yeah, we were touching on that last week in terms of you know, changing the cars around now is a little bit different to what we're accustomed to see with older cars. You know, in the sense that can be done relatively straightforward a lot of the time with even just a simple tune.
Yep.
Yeah, and it shows how restricted a lot of these later model European style cars are from the factory. But of course, the owner still needs to want to be able to go that quick.
It is so good to have the Datsun Club here tonight. If you are watching via YouTube or anywhere from around the world, guys, hope you're enjoying all the action from here at Aeroflow Race for Real here at Sydney Dragway, the Pocket Rocket, out and about, having a chat to a lot of our fantastic races. And don't forget, guys, log on to YouTube, go to the live stream and put your votes in for the best looking street car here tonight. And it has to be street registered. We've got a $500 Odyssey batteries voucher up for grabs. So make sure you get in, get your votes in. Stephen, Mark and Ben are upstairs in the box. And they're keeping an eye on all the votes that are coming in. Looks like we've got a little bit of fluid that has come out the back of the ute. And the Datsun Club, they are having an absolute ball here tonight. And I just had a chat with their head of motorsport for their club, and they're stoked. They are absolutely stoked. And it's great to see not only cars that are probably more suited to the circuit, but coming out here to the drag strip as a club, and coming out, and it's not about bragging rights, it's about getting the cars out, having some fun with your mates, but most of all, showing everybody that is here at the track and all around the world as well, just what this club has to offer. And don't forget, guys, our next theme night, which is coming up, will be a super night. And if you are a big fan of the 2Js like I am, it's going to be a huge, huge night. But those people that are regulars here at Sydney Dragway, they know that I'm a little bit of a Mazda fiend. And it's great to have an FD RX-7 here tonight doing its thing. So that's why I came out to the start line, boys, because I want to get some rotor noise in my ears.
You want to get a bit of Mazda action, mate.
Absolutely. Now, last week, we didn't actually televise any of some testing, but look, a huge big congratulations must go to Pack Performance and the Sedec Motor Group for their debut of their two beautiful new-looking race cars that they will be campaigning in the future. Of course, Pack have got the brand new Mazda RX-9 and still got the 20B in it. That's going to be a great car once I get that sorted. But for me, boys, the thing that really grabbed my attention was Sam Sedec's new Chevy Camaro with a twin-turbo 26B in it. That car had a couple of shakedowns. The guys got a lot of good data from the car. Just talking to one of the guys who was on the team, Mark and Steve, they were saying that the car itself isn't that much more powerful than what the 20B is in terms of outright pace. Where it differs from the 20B, according to the team, it's got a hell of a lot more torque, that car. So it's something they need to contain off the start line compared to the 20B. But I'll tell you what, there's good times ahead for import racing here in Sydney. And I know that the Jamboree is coming up very, very soon up in Brisbane. And it's great to have a whole heap of cars here testing for that. But most of all, they're from here in Sydney. And that's the best part. This is their home track. So guys, make sure you keep an eye on all their socials, because you never know, in the future we might see those cars out here for an event, but maybe at one of our New South Wales State Championship rounds, the guys might come out and do some laps in the cars. And if you love motorsport, guys, but most of all, you love your drag racing, make sure you bring the family out to our Speed Addict Clothing Company New South Wales State Championship Series that we run here at Sydney Dragway. It's fantastic sportsman racing, everything from your street cars, like similar to what we've got here tonight, all the way through to low 6-second blown alcohol drag cars. It's a great, great event, and it's really the next stepping stone up from Aeroflow Race for Real. So if you love your drag racing, guys, do check out the Street Fighter class, where you can take your standard road car out. It is Dolly Rain Racing. Steve is a big, big part of that championship, does a lot of the commentary for it, and the racing is top-notch.
That's exactly right, Stu, and it's a good, especially the Street Fighter and Street bike classes that we run here at Sydney Dragway is a fantastic opportunity for any racer out there that likes going quickly but says, you know what, I want to give the full experience of drag racing a go with dial-ins and truly test that reaction time where it does actually have a consequence in racing, because those of us that aren't familiar with what a dial-in is in handicap racing is basically just that. It's a self-nominated handicap. So we don't see that here tonight just because it's not a viable option to run dial-in and I guess a handicap style competition. It's not what tonight's usually about. But in racing, we all see a difference in times that the bikes and cars run down the quarter mile, and the easy way for the cars to be equalised is to run what we call a dial-in here in in drag racing, which is a self-nominated handicap. So, for example, if Mark and I are racing and I'm in my 13-second escort and he's in his 10-second Tirana, what did you run? 10s? 9s? 9s. Sorry, Mark, I shortchanged you a second there, right? So he's running 9s, I'm running 13s. So there's a 4-second difference between us. The whole idea of the handicap is that I say to our official, please dial me in at, keep it simple, 13-0. So, and then Mark does a 9-0, for example. So I will leave the start line 4 seconds in front of Mark, and it's up to him to chase me down. So the way that that's made fair is that you can't go under that self-nominated handicap and still win unless the other person goes under it by more.
Yes.
Yep. Right? So that stops sandbagging, because there's nothing stopping Mark otherwise saying, oh, my car run 13s too, and just idle down beside me and just make sure he crosses the finish line half a wheel in front of me, and he'll get the win light every time. So the advantage of the dial-in is in theory, the car should be neck and neck across the finish line. Not always the case, but in certain categories, most of our sportsman categories, there's so many races decided by 100ths of a second or a few thousandths of a second very regularly. And it tests a little bit more of your ability to pick a dial in, and it makes you need to know the vehicle, whether it's a bike or a car. So it's not always about going the fastest. Obviously, some of the categories will have ET restrictions in that you have to run between or you have to run quicker than a certain time to qualify. But there is a category for everybody, every budget, whether you want to come out and run Street Fighter, whether you want to come out and run Super Sedan, all the way up to top sportsman if sedan cars are your thing. If you're in a purpose-built tube chassis car, such as an altered or a dragster, you'll get into modified. Supercharged or boosted Outlaws. If your car runs a supercharger, of course, that's another category. And our sedan categories, Super Sedan, Super Street, also our Street Fighter category as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And as you're saying, Steve, like the dial your own bracket racing is a really, really good bracket. You get your qualifying to get an idea of the track and weather and the way your car is, and you can set your dial in. You can change your dial in as you go. But also, as Steve was saying, like if he's 13 seconds and I've got 9 seconds and I've got to chase him down, that 4 seconds you're sitting there waiting to leave the line, you have to be rock solid.
Yeah.
Your nerves are still, because a lot of people will red light, or because they're just trying to get that light dead perfect to chase him down.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Test the patience, and I think it's having faith in your car, having faith in your choices, in terms of what you've done for tune for that particular run, and also what your plan of attack is in terms of racing. There's so many different ways to approach it, and everybody has their own ideas on what works. So when Dad and I were racing, we would just adjust the dial in, leave the tune up the same throughout the whole of eliminations, unless there was something wrong, obviously. But if the weather condition, we'd look at the weather, and if the weather conditions changed to the point where we felt the car was going to run quicker or slower, we'd adjust the dial in to suit. Where other people will look at the weather, then make a choice on the tune-up and say, if we tune it this way, it should run the same, given the conditions at the time when you're doing the tune-up.
Yeah.
So, it's whatever works for the individual and the car itself. Obviously, some cars are a lot more tunable than others, and can get down in the varying conditions at the same performance level, where there's other cars that are very much affected by humidity and temperature and air condition, which makes it very difficult to pick a tune-up.
Yeah, we pretty much like you. We would look at all the weather conditions and how it's going to pay out through the day, and we'd have our tune. Like we had a book full of conditions and tunes for all of those conditions, and yeah, we would set a tune for the day.
Yep.
And the only thing that would affect us would be the heat.
Yeah, okay.
Our car didn't really like it that much.
No.
And if you did progress through the day and you're getting closer and closer to each pass,
yes,
you
start to get the heat sink.
Yes,
so you start to
would.
suffer a little
Yep.
bit. Yeah. Yeah, so I think, certainly the Speed Addict Clothing Co Championship is certainly a fantastic opportunity for anybody to come out and race.
Yes.
Depending on the category that you're running in, if you're going to run in street fighter or street bike, if you're out in the staging lanes, what you're racing with tonight is sufficient to race at that track champion event. You don't need to go out and buy, special safety equipment. Obviously, if you want to run a quicker car and running methanol and that sort of thing, then there's obviously a set of safety rules and licensing that's required for that. But to come out and race your street car in street fighter or your bike in street bike, what you're wearing now is sufficient.
Now also, ladies and gentlemen, before I forget, or if you're here at the track, guys, don't forget Jackie's got the track shop open tonight. She's got all the stock in. So if you want to get yourself a hoodie or a jacket or a beanie, I mean, not that I need a beanie because I've actually got hair, but in case you don't have hair, I mean, the beanies up there are nice and warm. Get up there and get yourself, that's why I was looking at you when I said it, get yourself a beanie from up at the track shop or a nice shirt. Wear it out, guys. Represent Sydney Dragway. Show the rest of Sydney that this is the place to be on a Wednesday night. Now, me being me, I couldn't help myself. I had to start stirring the pot a little bit. So I went up and spoke to the driver of this beautiful looking R34 Skyline, and I made a point to say that this is the most beautiful Skyline ever built. And it just so happened that there's a guy with his window down behind him with this R35. So I hope he didn't hear me. He gave me some strange looks, but...
So he probably did hear you.
But no, we've got a great bunch of imports here tonight. We've got the Skylines here tonight on the R35 GTR. The Rexy FD King is here tonight from Race Only. Of course, those guys have been around the motorsport scene for a fair while, and they are well known for their rotaries, and very quick rotaries at that. Well, speaking about tough rotaries, Mark and Steve, we've got Ed's 300 down here. Little RXC with a big set of radials on the rear end of it. The little Honda, though, it's got the jump on the Mazda.
Well, nice strong burnout from the Mazda.
I reckon the Mazda's going to take this one.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Just coming up on the two-step, the little RX3 808 in the Aeroflow lane. I tell you what, the MPS is keeping him pretty honest at the top end, but the 808 gets there the RX3. I don't know. I'll have to get Stewie to check that one out. A 12.03 with a 120 mile an hour through the finish line.
Yes, indeed. Actually had to do a fair bit of chasing from there. Sat on the line for a while.
I'll
tell you what, Mark and Steve, this Evo down here has got a roll cage in it, which tells me that this is a multi-purpose vehicle, and be interested to see how quick it is. It sounds tough.
Seemed a little slow to come on boost, but I'll tell you what, didn't it come alive once the top of first gear there?
Yeah, it did indeed. Now it just like virtually mid-track, just backed out of it.
Yeah, doing 82 mile an hour there. So yeah, it definitely backed out of it. Backed out of it just past half track, and I wonder if he's going to be one of these people that comes out on the last run and says, you know what, just going to send it.
Cars always go better on the last pass.
Yeah, funny that.
Pair of R33s, boys, both of them running radials on the rear end. The Skyline down here on the right in the rocket lane sounds pretty tough on idle, so let's keep an eye on them.
Well, looks like the both cars trying to launch somewhat aggressively. Both of them popped and banged. I think the one in the Aeroflow lane does have drive.
Yeah, Steve, there was a definitive pop out of the silver Skyline just before he went to go leave the line. So, yeah, and the car next to him, Steve, when that went pop, I could feel the breeze shooting past my face. It sounded like a gun going off.
Yeah, they're just wheeling the Skyline in the Aeroflow lane back. Maybe has a bit of a problem. Oh.
No shortage of horsepower from the car in the rocket lane. I think we're going to have to wait with bated breath to see how that thing runs on its next pass. And I think the next pairing is the first time for me calling a G-Wagon down the racetrack here at Sydney Dragway.
I'll tell you what, these G-Wags, depending on the options on them, they have some get up and go.
Well, the 6.3 litre Mercedes V8, isn't it? I don't know if they're all turbo or not, but certainly not an aerodynamic shape in the design, but certainly a pretty exotic car to those that like the G-Wagon. Taking on the trusty Holden 1-tonner here in the rocket lane.
Well, Stewie is going to be in his glory. We've got another Mazda.
Well, the 1-tonner, a little bit of wheel spin off the start line. 223 to the 60, 189 for the G-Wagon. There's a lot of weight there moving down that racetrack. The tonner way over towards the wall on the finish line. Still runs through for 1264 at 109.
And 12.0, 114 for the G-Wagon.
Yeah, wow.
So if the G-Wagon got off the line a little bit better, it would have gone past the 1-tonner.
Yes.
We've got the VL Bellina up against the Falcon Ute. Well, there's another mint-looking Mazda down here. Well, Commodore gets out 0.5 and a 1.9, 60 foot. Goes through 12.5, 108 miles an hour to a 15.7, 90 miles an hour.
little bit of fume out of the VL there on that
Yes.
pass, though, Mark. So you know, maybe just running a little bit rich to be on the safe side.
Maserati.
Got a bit of everything here tonight.
We have. And got a couple of passengers. Well, Mazda's up against the Audi.
Well, boys, got an awesome turnout of motorcycles here tonight for Aeroflow Race for Real. Of course, it's not just about the Datsuns tonight. Go have a chat with Michael.
12.6,
What's happening, mate?
109
How are
miles
you?
an hour.
Good. You happy?
No.
Well, what's the problem?
Too much fuel and not enough bottle pressure.
Oh.
And Mr. Nitrous isn't here tonight.
Where are you, Mr. Nitrous?
Well, we'll go back to the NA map and have some fun, do a few more passes. It's a busy night.
Yeah, it's good to see, isn't it? It's great for the track, but also it's great for everybody that's racing tonight, especially for people that are watching around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. The more the merrier, I reckon. You know, get some US people, Europe. It's great.
Now, mate, the bikes have been turning it on the last few weeks here at Sydney Dragway. Everyone's been coming out in force. That's looking good. That's good going towards the future.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see, you know, everyone coming back out and starting to race. I guess, you know, people are starting to have a bit more money or whatever and are happy to come out and spend their night, like Wednesday night here at Race for Real, which is great. So, yeah.
Great stuff. Well, we'll see you back out there. Of course, Michael on the Suzuki Gexer, so 750, doing a great job too on that bike. And obviously, once they get the nitrous sorted on that bike, it should go like a weapon. But look, one car I've had my eye on tonight, got the boys standing down here because got a little white Datsun Ute. Now, what's your name, buddy?
Marco.
Mate, welcome to Aeroflow Race for Real. Mate, you're a first timer.
Yeah.
Beautiful looking car, mate. First of all, how long have you had it and what have you done to it?
You know what? I had it about 1 month and fucking done fuck all to it.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I had to swear.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no swearing, mate. This is a PG rated show.
All
right. But, mate, it goes quick. You must be happy with the way it's launching.
13.4s in it, so not bad. Like, it's SR20 turbo. I think it runs about 250 kilowatts at the wheels. So, but hopefully another 2-3 months, I'm hoping to get about 350 kilowatts at the wheels, and about to get a C4 box in it as well. So after that, I'm hoping it will get 11s or something like that.
Well, mate, we've seen some very quick Datsuns here at the track over the years, and mate, it's good to see you buy something like this and see the progression of the car.
I've been looking at it for a few years, and like my mate was selling it, so I thought, you know what, let's do it at the right time.
Well, why not? We'll go out there and have some fun.
No worries, thank you very much.
I'll tell you what, boys, it is so busy down here, and the worst part is, Mark and Steve, that there's only one of me because there are so many people down here that I could talk to and just learn about their cars. But of course, it wouldn't be Aeroflow Race for Real without a rotary here. Yes, you're looking at me. Glenn is here in the VX. I might go interview Glenn, actually, because I don't think I've ever interviewed Glenn before. What's going on, mate?
Oh, not much, mate. Just sitting here waiting for my next run.
Mate, you happy with the way the car's going?
It puts a smile on my face when I leave here, mate. So all it is about the fun.
That's it, mate. Well, I'll tell you what, you're still capable of getting some good reaction times. You've been around the sport a long, long time. You're getting itchy feet, though?
No, not really. Just trying to progress better. That's all.
We'll go out there and have some fun, Glenn. Now, of course, next to him is FD King. And I've been a big fan of this car for a very, very long time. And we've got the driver here. G'day, mate. What's your name?
Homer.
Homer, welcome to Aeroflow, mate. I've been a big fan of your car for a long time. To the people that are here at the track and watching around the world who don't know anything about this FD RX-7, what hasn't been done to it is the simple question.
There hasn't been a lot. Like, I've pretty much done everything that you can do. So it's got a BMW gearbox in it as well, 7-speed. Still got the original 2-rotor engine, but obviously modified to Kingdom Come. So it probably makes around 900 horsepower. So yeah, it's a fun car to drive.
Hey mate, are you happy with the way the car's been launching tonight? I've watched your last pass. It's
Launched on the last run. I didn't do any hits or anything like that. I probably won't do any launches tonight. Still working out some bugs. Maybe in the next month I'll do a couple of hits on it. But tonight will just be an easy night.
Well, I'll tell you, mate, it's great to have the FD King out here tonight, here at Aeroflow Race for Real. Back up to you boys upstairs.
Thanks for Stu.
Certainly good mix of characters walking around down in that staging lanes, as individual as their cars, of course. Of course, that's one of the beauties of drag racing and motorsport, in that you can express yourself through your car. We saw a 017 light there on the tree.
So we've got Ian Tomley down in the VY, down on the starting line. He's
in the rocket lane.
Yes, yes he is. Yeah, on the YouTube chat, so he's always online, which is great.
What did Ben say to convince him to come out here, I wonder? Nothing. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Runs on through for a 13:21, 109 mile an hour mark. So not a bad run for.
Yeah, not a bad run at all.
Our focus taking on this blue Falcon. We saw it pretty much dead hook on the start line before. Mark and I had a little bit of a chuckle, but certainly a very quick car is this blue Falcon. The Focus is not shy either. Big speed out of the Focus for the ET. But of course, the front-wheel drive configuration probably hurting a little bit in the ET.
Yeah, this Falcon is just sensational off the line.
144 to the 60. Oh, a bit of smoke out of the Focus. Falcon way over towards that wall once again on the finish line.
Yes.
10:59 with a 123 mile an hour. I don't know, Mark. There can't be too much between the mirror and the wall over there.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not a place you want to be that end of the track.
No, not at 123 mile an hour.
Very, very slippery. It's a bit dirty out there.
I had to reread this number plate. I thought it said Mr. Bean, but it's actually Mr. Bear. The little Kia Stinger.
What did the number plate say, Stu?
His number plate says Mr. Bear, but I actually thought it said Mr. Bean. But I had to reread the number plate. But I know you're a big fan of these cars, Mark. You've actually been lucky enough to have a ride in one.
Yeah, indeed. They're a very impressive car to drive, I can tell you. You hop in, switch it on to sports mode, and the seats change, they wrap around you.
Oh, really?
Steering, yeah, everything changes. It's just the whole characteristic of the car does. It just becomes aggressive.
The Kia doing well, but the GTS in the other lane doing a lot better. 10:71 with a 128 miles an hour mark.
Wow.
238 to the 60. So the Kia was actually quicker to the 60 foot by over a tenth of a second there. But the sheer horsepower of the GTS just driving on around.
All right, boys, one of the nicest guys in drag racing in this country, Victor Sologianis, out in the big Chevy.
Gotta love the way the thing leaves the line, just picks the nose high in the air and just powers on down the track.
094 on the tree for Victor, 11:43 with a 118 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 13.3 at 104 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane.
Now, if my memory serves me correct, I think Stewie's interviewed the driver of this white Commodore down in the Aeroflow lane once before, and he's raced, I want to say, it feels like about 2 months ago.
Okay,
I
yep.
vaguely remember the car. Certainly, there's definitely a turbocharger or two under the bonnet.
Yeah, you either want to have one really, really big one.
Yes.
Or two medium-sized ones.
Yeah.
Well, Steve and Mark, we've got the Eurologic BMW back again tonight. And tonight, boys, it is rocking some serious rubber on it. I'm interested to see what they get out of this car. Of course, Eurologic, they do a lot of European stuff, not just BMW. I'm sure they do Mercedes and a few others. But this car is awesome to watch on the drag strip.
Wow.
The car bounced around in the back end there on that Commodore, then lit the tyres up at probably about 100 feet from the start line, and went 1.6 to the 60, and that would have been with the wheels spinning. And the GDS in the other lane, a 15.3 at 100 mile an hour.
I've got to say, that looked really impressive.
Yes.
From up here.
The shift light blazing away.
Yes. You could hear it just bouncing on the limiter.
All right, so we've got a bit of American versus Euro, boys. We've got the Mustang.
I'm a Ford guy, but I think the BB's going to take this one.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right, both cars into full stage. Tree counts down. No one's chasing a light here. Mustang leads quite nicely. 164 to the 60. 161 for the BMW. Gets to the top of first gear and I think out of the throttle. The Mustang 10.18 with an 139 miles an hour.
Well, we haven't seen that out of the Mustang.
No, and that's why I said what I said. I apologise. I take it all back. Go to the Ford.
I can tell you, boys, that was picture perfect off the start line from down here. Not one hint of wheel spin. They've got that car very, very well set up. Great bunch of vehicles here tonight. And don't forget, guys, we've got our camera guys here as well. So if you see them wandering around, you want a photo of your car, make sure you go down and see Andy and a couple of the other guys that are here tonight as well. But don't forget, guys, get your votes in because we do have that $500 voucher from Odyssey Batteries up for grabs for the best looking, best performing street car here tonight. And I've got to say, boys, it'd be a hard pick because not only have we got the Datsun Club here, but some of the other cars here tonight look fantastic and they're going like stink.
You're not wrong, Stu. I think just about every car here has something going for it for that award. It's going to be a very difficult decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, nice strong burnout from the Senator, but the VX Commodore right beside him, the big N on the back window.
Yeah, I believe this might be Aidan Stutchbury, Mark, Brett's son. Just purging the nitrous as well. PSC Racing behind this car.
Big step out of line for the Aeroflow lane. It looked like at about the 330 foot mark. And a 12.44 with a 111 mile an hour for the VT in the rocket lane there.
And 14.7, 63 miles an hour for the HSV. And that back
Hold
down.
the microphone, Mark. Now, I'm not really up in Tiranas. I know you are, Mark, but this is a beautiful looking SLR.
Yeah, it's nice and clean, Stu. First timer as well. Waiting for the car in the Aeroflow lane to clear the runoff road at the top end of the track. Trana has gone in deep stage. And just rolls on the line. Brings up the red light.
Still would have got a time though, but has stopped, and unfortunately that has triggered the timer and will not get a representative time here. But 10.74 with an 129 mile an hour for the car in the Aeroflow lane. Sydney has so many tough street cars, doesn't it, Mark?
It does indeed, yep. Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound like a Lexus, does it?
No. No, there's at least 4 more cylinders.
Yes.
and a crossbow badge instead of the circle.
Yep. Yeah.
I just had a quick chat with Sammy Joe, boys. Sammy's been running, at 11.5, 11.4s. She's just bumped 2-step up. So hopefully we might see an 11.3. If it goes to 11.3, it's a PB for Sammy Joe.
Only 900s between those two across the finish line. 9.72 with a 1.106 for the Lexus.
We've got the Ute back out again. The guy in the Ute hasn't had much success with getting a full noise pass out of this car as of yet. Just can't get it to the ground. But I'll tell you what, when he does, I think we're going to see some good numbers.
Yeah, definitely going. I think we're going to see 130 mile, 120, 130 mile an hour.
Yep. Again, just as soon as it hit boost, just fries the tyres.
061 on the tree for the racer in the Aeroflow lane though, so that's definitely a good light. Of course, 000 is what you're looking for. But we've seen a number of O lights here tonight. Runs on through for a 12.95 with a 2.108 mile an hour through the finish line.
If you're here at track, guys, and you're feeling a bit peckish, don't forget the nacho shop is up the top there. Denise's Donuts and the coffee up there. Make sure you grab some because they are the best in Western Sydney. Of course, Top Fuel Cafe is open as well, so make sure you keep yourselves fed and well hydrated. Because I'll tell you what, guys, the action is just heating up here at Aeroflow Race for Real. We've got some big cars out the back, and I'll tell you what, boys, the vibe down in the staging lanes is just, it's like a party down there at the moment. I feel like I'm in heaven.
Commodore leaves so well. 162 to the 60, no messing about. Straight down the centre of the Aeroflow lane. 10.74 with a 5, 128 miles an hour.
And 11.2, 127 miles an hour for the Rocket Lane.
So it just goes to show how important that 60-foot timer is. There was 3 tenths in the ET to the 60-foot. Yep. The Commodore in the Aeroflow lane a little bit quicker there. Here's Sammy Joe in the red VE Commodore. She's looking for a, what did you say, a 1.3. Sorry, an 11.3 is the ET that she's looking for. 0.38 on the reaction time.
Well, 1.69 in the 60.
Yeah,
she's up the 2-step.
Yep.
Let's see little bit wobbly around the top end.
Yeah, 93 10,000ths of a second across the finish line. That Sylvia was chasing it down. 146 mile an hour for the Sylvia. Yeah, wow.
Sometimes you can go up on the two-step, but sometimes it works against you. Then you just blow the tyres off it, or it's that real fine line. You just got to keep playing with it to see where that line is, and hopefully you're on the right side of it.
I got this little Datsun Stanza down here in the Rocket Lane. If you're in the market for a Datsun and you want to become part of the Datsun Club, that car is actually up for sale. So go and speak to the driver, because I reckon this looks like a really good club to be a part of, boys, the Datsun Club.
It definitely got a good following of great people and great cars.
See quite prominently there the tyre marks left from our green Holden utility. They go well out past, about 150 feet?
Yep.
Nearly probably 200 feet from the start line. That's not fair, Gus, man.
Well, just a heads up, guys, we've got just over an hour before we announce the winner of tonight's Odyssey Batteries voucher. So make sure you get your votes in via YouTube's live stream for Sydney Dragway, the official page. Don't go to the fake page, go to the real page, and you can catch up with all the action. You can watch it again tomorrow if you want. If you're racing tonight, guys, you want to see how good you went on the track, and you want to admire your handiwork behind the wheel, make sure you do watch the video. But we've got a little bit of gunk down on the track, guys. We will have to do a little bit of a clean-up. So while it's happening, you might get a few words from some of our sponsors. We'll be back here at our Datsun theme night here at Sydney Dragway with the Rocket, Mark Thomas, Steve Bush. Oh, it's a rocket night, boys.
Are you a motoring enthusiast? Shannon's are giving you the chance to win a USA Supercars drive experience at the Circuit of the Americas and Las Vegas racetracks. Drive a Ferrari, Lamborghini and Porsche. Visit Dallas, Austin, Las Vegas and LA. The trip for two includes airfares, luxury accommodation and $10,000 spending money for eligible Shannon's Club members. Plus, win a new Indian Motorcycle Sport Chief. To enter, take out new Shannon's insurance on your special car, daily drive, bike or home. Go online or call Shannon's on 134646.
Not slow.
Not difficult.
Not just ticking boxes.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for racers, street machines and hot rodders. Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for racers, street machines and hot rodders. From fittings, fuel system components, intake solutions and even turbocharger systems, you can see it all at aeroflowperformance.com.
I've chosen to use VP Racing fuel since I was a teenager racing motocross, which was 21 years ago now. I just have a really personal trust with VP Racing fuels.
Running on the ragged edge of blowing up and not, A lot of it has to do with the race fuel, and that's what we rely on, VP Racing Fuels.
VP has been making racing fuel for 43 years. They're the official fuel of multiple top series globally. No matter where we are in the world, no matter what fuel we need, it's always consistent. It's always perfect and exactly what we're expecting and our tuners expecting. They support myself, my Drift Alliance bros, and for that, I'm extremely thankful. Keep making amazing fuels, and we'll keep out there having fun.
Are you a motoring enthusiast? Shannons are giving you the chance to win a USA Supercars drive experience at the Circuit of the Americas and Las Vegas racetracks. Drive a Ferrari, Lamborghini and Porsche. Visit Dallas, Austin, Las Vegas and LA. The trip for two includes airfares, luxury accommodation and $10,000 spending money for eligible Shannons Club members. Plus, win a new Indian Motorcycle Sport Chief. To enter, take out new Shannons insurance on your special car, daily drive, bike or home. Go online or call Shannons on 134646.
BikeReview.com.au is Australia's leading website for performance and modified motorcycles. BikeReview.com.au is the only motorcycle-focused website to feature motorcycle drag racing on a regular basis. And in the words of editor Jeff Ware, our involvement with Sydney Dragway is our way of putting back into one of our favourite sports. BikeReview.com.au. Stay informed, up to date and entertained thanks to Para News. Para News is Parramatta and the Cumberland area's leading free and local newspaper, delivering the best content from on-the-ground journalists and providing businesses with direct access to potential customers. News, sport, entertainment, puzzles and so much more. Para News really is the heartbeat of Parramatta and Cumberland, and it's out every Tuesday. Get your free copy at selected locations in the area or check out paranews.com.au.
Bank said no to your home loan? Talk to us.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Whether you're building a street machine or a race car, Aeroflow Performance has a solution for you. Our ever-increasing range features boosted turbocharger systems, Bosch Motorsport products, X-Pro electrical systems, hoses and fittings, bang shift shifters, differential parts and fabrication components. You can see it all on aeroflowperformance.com.
Drag racing is not just about the horsepower. There is also some cool science at play right here on the racetrack. These drag strips aren't just regular concrete. We treat it with a special kind of glue often referred to as traction compound. I usually twist my foot and it's all... This is designed to ramp up the traction of the track's surface. It's getting worse by the minute for us racers to go straight and fast. In drag racing, every millisecond counts. That's why the teams adjust the car's setup to suit the track conditions. Teams can assess the traction on the track by using this interesting device called a traction meter gauge. The bottom of the device has a rubber pad that mimics a racing slick. To measure the track's grip value, the user stands on the base, ensuring the rubber pad bonds with the racing surface. Turning the torque arm on the top of the device will rotate the rubber pad. When the bond breaks, the user will see a number on the dial. Teams can then use this number to help create baselines for grip within their respective setup.
Phil is was just a meek and mild 1 minute and then outrageous the next. It was very, very funny. He was outgoing, but how would you say it?
He was outgoing but shy as well.
Shy at the same time, you know, and very smart kid too.
Obviously he was the youngest, you know, with the two older sisters, so, you know, he learnt how to become outgoing and loud because so he could be noticed. So yeah, he was becoming, you know, an independent adult, you know, on his way to, you know, planning holidays. And, you know, he'd always say, you know, he wanted to go to, you know, overseas trips and things like that.
Smart for a young bloke. Like, we were only maybe through our third year of our apprenticeship, and he was very, very hands-on, always had an idea, a suggestion. Friday we used to knock off work early, probably spend a few hours here on Friday, then Saturday, and the amount of times we pulled the wheels off Phil's car, put new ones on them.
There weren't many blue Dattos around, really.
It wasn't hard to, if you seen his car on the road, you knew it was him.
Yeah.
It was just being 17-year-olds was the funnest part of probably our life so far, and unfortunately, you know, Phil didn't even get to see his 18th birthday.
That one.
I did know something was up, I just didn't know what was up.
Yeah, you see a sheet over your best mate's car, it's not real pleasant, so.
Our oldest daughter, Lauren, she was overseas. I had to contact her and break the news to her.
I was holidaying in Europe with my husband, and as we were driving, I got a phone call from my dad. He said, I need to talk to Damien. My husband went, you know, quite serious, and he got off the phone and he said, your brother Philip has been involved in an accident and he didn't make it.
You know, and making those phone calls to our parents, and
their choices matter and what they do matters, and that, you know, one small choice can have lifelong consequences for so many people.
All right, guys, we are back at Aeroflow Race for Real Datto night tonight. Just waiting for the tractor to clear the bottom end of the track.
Welcome back to Aeroflow Race for Real here at Sydney Dragway. Just up in the box, just having a quick look at some of the stuff that's coming through on Facebook. Don't forget, guys, 9 o'clock we are announcing the winner of the $500 Odyssey Batteries voucher to the best presented and outright performing car this evening. And that's a street car, mind you, not race car, street car. So make sure you are getting your votes in. Let's say a quick hello to Psyop. G'day, Psyop. RC, how are you, boys? Panel Van Man, I've been told that you are behaving tonight, which is fantastic to hear. Of course, Mad Cow Mark. Gypsy's here as well. So yeah, all our regulars, and welcome Seema Dragon as well. Gus Man, who's floating around. I heard he came in on the Unicorn, mate. Is that right? Of course, it's a great night here tonight, and Steve and Mark keeping you informed and calling the racing tonight. And boys, I'll tell you what, it's some really, really good quality drag racing tonight, isn't it? Here at Sydney Dragway's Aeroflow Race for Real.
It always is, Stu, but I think that the beauty of tonight is at the moment there's such a variety of cars. You know, whether you're liking your 70s Japanese muscle, whether you're liking your 70s Aussie muscle, or even your late model European muscle, there's something here for everybody, from Datsun 1200 coupes to AMG G-Wagons.
Yeah, we do have a very wide range of different vehicles, and the quality of the cars are just absolutely sensational. Well, we've got this blue Datto down in the Aeroflow lane. Right beside him, we've got the black Premier.
A little bit of smoke out of the Datsun, but the Premier on its way to victory. 11:41 with an 8. 118 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 14.9, 107 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane. We got the Datto Coupe down in the Rocket lane. And the Datto 1600 in the Aeroflow lane.
I know the 1600 ran an independent rear. Did the 1200 as well? Or were they a solid diff? Do you know?
No, I don't know, actually.
They don't seem to squat the same as a 1600.
Yeah. It was a probably a bad thing in the 1600s. They just...
Yeah.
Like, you want your car to squat to a certain degree, but not as much as what they did.
No.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Just getting some clarification of something that was just set up here in the commentary box. Thank you, Ben.
Not repeatable, but yes.
No. He did say the PG version in all fairness. 1507, 107 mile an hour in the Aeroflow lane, and unfortunately I've missed the...
Yeah, I did too.
This early Skylines time in the Rocket lane there.
We got the Datto Ute.
Is that Marco? I think that Stu interviewed earlier. I think. Just a couple of white Datto 1200s here tonight.
Yes, there is, yep.
That's 204 to the 60. Whoa! Oh, good save there. 300 feet. That car turned pretty hard to the right. Both Mark and I saw a good portion of the side of it. Still runs at 1284 with a 121 mile an hour through the finish line. He wasn't done with
no.
Getting up on the steering wheel at 330.
Yeah, well, that come on real strong.
No, we certainly don't want to see anyone damage their pride and joy.
We've got the XR Falcon down here. The guy's just out doing a bit of testing tonight. Wow, Jesus, sounds good.
It does, it does. 154 to the 60, rolls out of it at half track, was doing 108 at half track.
Yeah.
Got there in just under 6.5 seconds. Still rolls on through for an 11.0 at only 89 mile an hour.
Wow. And 13.0 for the Aeroflow lane. So that XR, once everything's in place.
Yes.
And
everything's armed and turned on.
Yes, indeed. And got a nice little bottle warmer on it. And yeah, you're going to see good numbers.
Going to be a very tough car out here at Sydney Dragway. On the start line now, little Mazda. It's at 929 taking on the 1600 over in the Rocket lane. Pretty even on the start line, only 100th between, but the little Mazda definitely with the performance advantage here. Runs on through for a 15.2 at 90 mile an hour and a 20.1 second pass for the 1600. Big burnout from the Falcon in the Aeroflow lane here, Mark. Taking on a very, very nicely presented 1600 in the gold. Was it like a tiger gold paint? Venetians in the back. Here comes that turbo. We hear it on the track mics. Building the boost and is not driving away from the Datsun as quick as I would have thought. In fact, the Datsun actually gets there. 13.16 with a 116 mile an hour.
And 12.7 to 115 miles an hour. Yeah, that Datto just started coming on really strong, top end of the track.
I tell you what, I'm pretty impressed by this little what is it, 180B coupe down there in the Aeroflow lane. There's a fair amount of urgency down there.
Yeah,
from our track official. The driver did do a fairly big burnout though, so I hope.
Yep.
No, he
still
did.
still
Okay.
going.
No. I think he's perhaps.
All right, Smokin' Joe Sabello in the Datsun Skyline.
Stu, the guy jumped out of the Datto and jumped back in again. Any idea what was going on there?
Yeah, his bonnet wasn't down properly, Mark, so had to get out, shut the bonnet, then get back in and get himself sorted.
.986, not what Joe Sabello would be looking for here on that pass.
Sounded like he was on and off the throttle on that one. Yeah, down the track.
Big LTD taking on the BA Falcon in the Aeroflow lane. Too much in the 60 foot. The BA a little bit quicker. Definitely with the performance advantage as it makes its way towards the finish line.
.145, 100 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane.
We've got the Indian motorcycle up against the BMW. Really nice looking bike, that Indian as well. Something's actually just come off that bike. Looks like a sticker. Just before the 330 foot mark.
And a 12.30 at 112 mile an hour in the Aeroflow lane to a 13-second pass in the Rocket lane. Just as diverse as our cars is the motorcycles that we get here at Sydney Dragway. All different brands, styles, and types. 994 with a 149 mile an hour in the Aeroflow lane.
Yeah, we're just looking down at the burnout box down there, Steve. We've got a cruiser and we've got a sports bike.
Correct. Nice burnout from the cruiser, getting the opposite lock going in both directions. Oh, I think I would have had it on its side by that point.
You got to love the Harley Davidson baggers, don't you, Steve? A little bit of attitude out of the burnout.
Oh, hang on, I wouldn't have got on it in the first place. So, yeah. No, I actually wouldn't have got on it.
Well, 146 miles an hour for the Rocket lane. We've got the trail bike up against the road bike.
All of our two strokes have multiplied.
Yeah.
Trail bike doing a lot better than I thought at this point down the racetrack. At 1,000 though, the Rocket lane has come on around and a 13.34 at 113 miles an hour through the finish line.
And 13.9, 92 miles an hour for the trail bike. We got the Suzuki GT 750 triple down the Aeroflow lane.
That's Brett Copping taking on Michael Riches, one of our officials on that Suzuki. Of course, Michael was hoping to run the nitrous tonight and did attempt it on the first pass. But what did he say?
No bottle pressure.
No bottle pressure.
No, not enough fuel. Oh,
goes 002 red on the tree, just copping on the 2-stroke. Stays out in front, 10.22 with a 2, 131.
And 10 free at 133 miles an hour.
Now, you couldn't get two different motorcycles there, and they've nearly run identically the same speed and the same ET.
Absolutely. So there's probably 30 years difference between the two.
Oh, more, wouldn't it? When would the 2-stroke? That would have been 70.
76, Ben? Yeah, early 70s, yeah.
I don't know when Michael's bike would have been manufactured, but definitely 2000.
All right, the Ford Focus up against the Gemini wagon. Got to see a couple of Ford Focuses out here tonight, having a little bit of a run here at our Datsun theme night here at Aeroflow Race for Real.
Well, Gemini got off the line a little bit better this time.
Yeah, wow, good pass. 11.13 with a 3, the quickest I've seen tonight.
And 14 free at 101 miles an hour. So yeah, just needs a little bit more work around the 60. Went out at a 1.8. So just tidy that up a bit, and that thing will be down in the 10s.
Big burnout from the AU Falcon in the rocket lane. Taking on the EL, I think it is, in the Aeroflow. The EL will take the win, 14.8, 92 mile an hour through the finish line. To a 16.1 for the AU in the rocket. Another big burnout from the wagon in the Aeroflow lane. This time taking on the R32 Skyline.
Skyline straight in and staged.
What does Hodgson call them? The plastic Datsuns? He can say that because he's got an R33.
I can't.
I did notice on the back of the wagon, boys, whoop sticker. I know that Bryce is at home watching the live stream. Hope you're well, Bryce. Hopefully, mate, fingers crossed, because I know you're watching the live stream. Hopefully I'll be up the Central Coast to see you tomorrow and come up to the workshop and say good day. But I know that he's working on his burnout car at the moment, boys, so hopefully we'll see that car back very soon. But we've got a lot of water that has come out of the AU Falcon. Now, unfortunately, Will is not down here in the start line, so I can't stir him up. But he's taking on this little Audi. Now, we haven't seen this car for a little while. It used to come out fairly regularly. It is a quick little car for what it is.
Ooh, a little bit of fume out of it at about 1,000 foot there. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. No, I was...
Keep in mind, it's 300 metres away. Or more. Call it 350 from up here.
Yeah. So we're going to just run one lane for the moment. We just give a quick clean-up. By the looks of it, we're going to run... Yes, it's got a bit of glycol down.
Of course, the radiator coolant is probably one of the hardest things to clean up off the racetrack.
Yes.
Because it doesn't absorb when you try to wipe it up. As I'm sure anybody that's worked on a radiator in their garage, you cannot do it without spilling it on the floor.
Yep.
And you can't wipe it up with a rag. All you do is spread it around.
Yeah, terrible stuff.
Yep. So this is what we've got to do, is burn it off. We'll just run one lane in the meantime to try and keep the staging lanes filtering through. .189 to the 60 for the car in the Aeroflow lane. Just over 90 mile an hour half track. And a 12.2, 113 mile an hour run.
(13.4), 105 miles an hour.
Next up, we've got the Evo Lancer. Now, I know that Stewie has interviewed this driver before, I'm pretty sure, but his name unfortunately escapes me. It's a pretty quick car. I think it's running low 11s, I think, from memory.
Sorry, boys, I've just got to play a little bit of Sadie at the moment, so I'll be back very, very soon.
Oh. Sorry, Stu.
I can't say I've ever seen that.
No, not at all.
I hope nothing's broken there, because we've just seen a Lancer try to turn sideways on itself.
That would make a bit of sense.
Are you implying...
done a drive shaft or something, yet to spear it off the way it had.
I didn't hear a bang or anything, though, on the track mics.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen it. You're down on the line there, Stu, but that Lancer just really out of shape, which is totally unusual.
Yeah, way out, Mark, but we've got a hell of a lot of coolant to try and burn off this track here, mate. So this rocket lane might be down for just a little while, but we'll get it fixed up as quickly as possible.
(14.0), 109 miles an hour.
Up next we have a little Golf Mark 7 down there, followed by that a Toyota Corolla, I think it is, with quite an aggressive body kit on it. I can't say I've seen that version before. I see quite a few Corollas racing out here at Sydney Dragway. This one's got the wide body kit. Must be the this is GR4, eh? Sportivo. The Golf running through for a 12.25 at 110. Very quick little car.
Corolla goes through 14.1, 103 miles an hour.
Next up, we'll have a Ford Focus driver. Not too scared to hit the limiter in the burnout there, Mark. Got all sorts of crossed up as well. Oh. Coming alive at the top end of the rev range in each of the gears. And a 14.2 at 122 mile an hour.
Wow. Yeah. Miles an hour way up there. Audi just rolling into stage.
Interesting to see the power curve there, Mark. I reckon it'll be pretty flat, and then all of a sudden it's near vertical wall.
Yeah.
Change the gear, drops back down.
Oh, that's not good for the Audi.
I didn't hear a bang.
Oh, found it.
I'm wondering if it went into I'm not doing this mode.
Went into limp mode.
Yep.
Well, 22.4 at 78 miles an hour. .3 reaction and 2.13 for the 60. 13.5, 105 miles an hour for the Commodore.
One of our watchers on the stream has just posted that he was getting his Subaru, ready to come down to the strip and then realised that his new turbo is too big for the engine bay. I don't see a problem with that because you can always cut a hole somewhere.
Absolutely.
That's what grinders and drills and files are for.
Just don't put the bonnet back on.
Yeah, that's it. Top mount it.
Yep.
Up in the fresh air.
Love
Works
it.
all right for Phil Penny in that little S600 Honda. There's probably more engine outside the engine bay than there is under the bonnet.
Keep it cool and let it breathe.
Yep.
15.5, 89 miles an hour.
Mind you, Phil's car's not registered.
Is that a problem?
Well, it is if you want to drive it on the road.
Oh.
I see. Well, so it must be a pretty big turbo then.
14.1, 119 miles an hour. Big burnout from the Falcon.
Yes, definitely.
Little present for all our officials down there cleaning the track. And the smoke just seems to be blowing that way.
Yeah, exactly right. He built it. They built it up though, and look at all the smoke come out the boot when he left the start line. You just imagine the ad, non-smoker. 1586, 91 mile an hour through the finish line. Next up, Stu's RX-7. It's very quiet, that Mazda. From 1675, only 56 miles an hour.
Yeah, definitely a big back down there. Another big burnout. Commodore Ute.
Keeping them well under control though, nice and straight. Moving out of the water as slow as possible to get as much smoke off those rear tyres. 259 light for our Ute driver, 2.8 seconds to the 60 foot.
And crosses the line 17.8 at 81 miles an hour.
All right, I'm back.
Hello, back.
Hey, Steve. Guys, well, hopefully we won't be too far away from getting the rocket lane back up and running. See? It was an AU Falcon. See? It's a Ford.
I like how you say that and then walk away.
Hey?
It was sweating horsepower.
Oh,
Correct.
give me a break. It was scared.
couple of AU Falcons here tonight. And a 16:35 on the boards, 97 mile an hour.
I just copped it back big time. I thought
Well
it probably
deserved, I reckon.
Well, yeah, it probably was, but you know, I'm sure I wasn't the only one that was thinking it.
No. But you're the messenger.
I mean, there's a lot of people up here in the crowd that are probably Holden supporters. So, you know, they would understand where my way of thinking comes from. Nice to see a Mazda 3 out here. This one sounds really nice, actually. Good luck, buddy. It's a Mazda. You do well. I almost bought that model Mazda, actually, back in the day, boys. Now, it might have a little bit of a drive job to do, though, because she's up against the Toyota Crown.
Mind you, Stuart's pretty evenly matched. The Crown gets there, though. 14.66 with a 6. Another Ford doing a big burnout. Rolling on forward, we can see the smoke starting to rise up, and we'll smoke screen mark an eye out.
Just waiting on the car in the Aeroflow lane to bring on both stage lights.
Well, guys, it's great to see another female racer coming out. Because this year, 2 first-timers. Fly 6-litre.
Just looking in our staging lane cameras, there's lots of variation in colour, lots of variation in shape down there. Run looking very close from up here, only a 10th of a second between them across the finish line. There was a fair difference in the reaction times though.
Got the BMW down in the Aeroflow lane.
Good to see another car back again this week, boys, out of the Yakuza Motorsports workshop.
The BMW driver not chasing the reaction time. He Was a little slow on the last run as well, but lets it motor on up the top end. 10.22 with an 8, 134 miles an hour, 1.6 seconds to the 60 foot.
Falcon and the Honda.
All right, two very different ways to go racing, but I think this little Honda is definitely going to keep this Falcon honest at the top end of the racetrack. They're locked together at half track. And he's in front at 1,000, and I think we'll take the win. 13.92 with a 300 mile an hour across the finish line.
And 14.8, 95 miles an hour for the Falcon. Well, this little rotary back out again. The rocket lane.
Looks almost like a factory colour there on the Mazda.
Yes. I can't even see what the car is in the Aeroflow lane.
I want to say it's a...
Wait for the smoke to clear. I know it's got a P plate on it.
They look like Falcon tail lights from up here. On the two-step again for the Mazda, but it almost falls off boost.
Does indeed.
And the Aeroflow lane's going to get there. 15.81, 90 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 13.8, 101 miles an hour for the Mazda. Yeah, the Mazda just sort of, when it drops the second stage, it's just...
It never recovered.
Over, yeah.
On that run, it never recovered. Very clean looking VK over there in the rocket lane. Very quick one too, just quite. 11.64 with a 2, 127 mile an hour.
And 14.3 at 99 miles an hour. That is a quick VK.
Silly question. They had the RB motor in them too, didn't they? Or were they only in the VLs?
VLs. Yep, they had the black motor 202s.
Ah, okay.
I think it was the first of the injected.
Oh, yeah, okay. So they updated it by moving away from the carby.
Well, they had the carby in the lower versions,
yes,
the executives, but the ballooners and everything did come out with the injected, and there was a big injection that come up and over the top.
Yep. Bit of Ford versus Holden on the start line. So the FG's out in front. And we'll take this one comfortably. 14.49 with a 9.97 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 17.0, 83 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane.
Is this our sleeper Lancer down there on the start line?
Not real sure. Does look like it. Yep.
Sounds like it. 2.3 to the 60. Didn't sound like it wanted to shift gear there. The driver is still in the throttle this time around. 11.06 with a 135 mile an hour through the finish line. That's telling me we should be looking at a low 10. There should be a second difference there,
Yes.
roughly, in ET.
If he didn't have those shift problems, he probably would have been in the 10s.
You can imagine the driver pulling on the lever to shift gear or flicking the paddle, and it's going, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Good to have a mic in there, but you couldn't play it, could you?
No. No.
Definitely wouldn't have been PG.
Well, coming out through the tunnel very soon, we've got a young fella coming out with his Mazda RX-3 13B turbo manual gearbox. He's just told me he's just been babying off the line a little bit. He just wants to try and get it a little bit quicker in the 60. But as you boys know, driving a manual in drag racing is not easy. But look, he's out here and they're doing a great job. I really love the look of this 1-ton ute though, Mark. It is sensational, mate. The interior is mint, absolutely mint.
Yeah, the paintwork looks pretty mint from up here under the lights here at Sydney Dragway, I can tell you. What's it like down there on the ground, Stu?
Yeah, I don't think he can hear you, mate.
He's got selective hearing.
So it looks like we got that a little bit of condensation down there, all cleaned up. And what we got down there, Steve? A Falcon up against the Skyline.
The R35 over there in the rocket lane. All right, just about ready to go. The Falcon just rolling that little bit further forward into deep stage.
Yeah, I think this Skyline will chase him down.
He's chasing him, but I don't think he's going to get there, Mark.
Oh. 11.1, 125 miles an hour for the rocket lane, and 12.5 for the Aeroflow lane. I thought he had him on it. He was going to get him.
I think if the track was a little bit longer, he would have.
Well, Skyline up against the 1-tonner. Nice strong burnout from the 1-tonner.
Tana goes 195 to the 60.
12 to 110 miles an hour to a 12.5, 122 miles an hour. Well, the G-Wagon back out again, up against the VL Commodore.
Now, I think the VL potentially going to have its work cut out for it here. Although that's not a 6-cylinder in the VL. So I retract my statement. Not saying that the 6-cylinder is slow at all, but a 12.12 with a 116 mile an hour to an 11.9 there for the G-Wagon.
We got the Mazda down in the rocket lane and the Audi in the Aeroflow lane. I think this is a Mazda that Stu was talking about.
Yeah, just a few moments ago.
Yep, the little manual Mazda.
Audi's out in front, 12.64 with a 2.109 through the finish line.
And 13.5.104 for the Mazda. So definitely give the Mazda a little bit more off the line, but just turned tyres and got a little bit out of shape.
Now, I don't know if Benji can see what's down below, but he made a point earlier saying that I wouldn't be able to get it into a Ford Ranger. I'd be able to make it into a Ford Ranger, mate. We've got one down here. It's about to come out, the Ford Ranger Raptor. Now, Steve, I want to see if this Ranger's going to rip a burnout. I reckon that would be... No, he's not. I reckon that would be a cool camera shot. A Ford Ranger Raptor with smoke bellowing from the back of it. I think it'd be awesome.
Well, if you buy one, you could do that. Of course, we see plenty of our races in the 4x4 and diesel nights show complete disregard for tyres and transmissions and differentials.
Yes, indeed.
But I tell you what, this time around, he's not giving too much away to the Stinger that's in the rocket lane. 13.08 with a 9.107 for the Stinger to a 14.17 at 96 for the Ranger.
I'll tell you what, that Ranger, that's cracking. Big, heavy car.
Yeah, definitely. It was about a second all in total across the finish line, but it certainly looked a lot closer than that from up here.
All right, we've got Ian coming out now in his high comp assisted Commodore. Of course, high comp performance not too far from here at the track. I know Joe's got his race car back in the build again, so hopefully we'll see that out in the future. Ian running a passenger tonight, out for a little bit of fun in his Commodore.
Well, Victor is out and gone. Crosses the line 11.3, 119 miles an hour. To a 20.5. Hey, Stu, when you get some time, do you want to shoot on up? Thanks, mate.
Big burnout from the rocket lane there, Mark.
Yeah, indeed. We've got the Mustang right beside him. This Mustang showed us true colours the previous pass.
Is that the same car, though? It looks the same colour.
I think we only got one here tonight, don't we?
One that I've seen, yes.
Yeah.
We'll soon find out.
Will indeed. Yep, he thinks it's the right one.
The Commodore's definitely going to take this one out. 1093 with a 4.124 miles an hour. To a 1253 with a 5 at 111.
I don't know, you might be right. Maybe we do have two here.
Because what he run was like a low...
Oh.
It's big speed.
Yeah, it
Remember
was.
that?
Big speed, low ET, and had a big set of radials on the back of it. (10.8), 130 miles an hour to a 12.9, 119 miles an hour.
All right, I think that's Brian Addising on the start line in the Aeroflow lane, taking on this Commodore Ute in the rocket lane. Let's see if it can get a little bit of traction. Little Ute out with a much better reaction time on this run. And I think we'll stay out in front. 13.12, 110 mile an hour.
And 12.8 sound of that red hot Falcon down in the rocket lane.
I thought you were going to say the little Datsun coupe, mate. Like, just done a really good job of a burnout, got off the throttle, and there was a fair bit of engine smoke there. So I hope everything's all okay.
Well, Falcons gone through for a full noise pass there. 10-0, 132 miles an hour. Oh, Datto getting out of shape. $12.7, 122 miles an hour.
$12.35 with a 5, 112 mile an hour for the rider in the rocket lane. Passed before that Harley bagger with a big wheel stand as well.
Okay.
Our little Datsun friend, a couple of passes before that, getting very crossed up. One coming across the burnout pad right now. Red Copy got the clutch management sorted out on that machine. Runs on through for a 10.22 with a 6, 131 miles an hour through the finish line.
And 12.6, 117 miles an hour for the rocket lane. With the Gemini panel van back out again.
See how it goes off the start line on this pass. Went 1.8 to the 60, I think it was, on the last run. Has been sitting there a little bit this time around after the burnout. No, definitely a pedal. It's 2.09 to the 60, so we're not going to see another 11.1 here, I don't think. Still packing on the speed, 122 mile an hour, but an 11.61 for the wagon to a 12.89 at 107 in the Aeroflow lane.
Well, Falcon, really big burnout.
Is that what it was?
Really big. Like, 14.7, 91 miles an hour for the Rocket Lane to a 16.4, 87 miles an hour. Sorry, mate.
It's okay. It's all good. The Falcon used all its performance in the burnout. That's what it did.
Burn away that little bit of traction.
Yes. Next up, we have the R32 taking on the VT wagon over there in the Rocket Lane. 777 on the tree for the Skyline. Just over 9 seconds to the 8th mile mark. And a 13.3 at 118.
Big shoot of flames out as he crossed the line.
Just an announcement. Victor Sologianis. Victor, if you are around, could you come back to your car immediately, please? That's Victor Sologianis. If you can come back to your car immediately, please.
The Audi taking on the Golf R over there in the Rocket Lane. The Golf coming home pretty strong, but not getting there by just under 0.3 of a second. 11.73 with a 2.118 mile an hour, the much quicker of the two runs there, but the reaction time is what gave that away.
All right, boys, I'm down in the staging lanes, and Victor, the votes have come in via YouTube, and you are the winner tonight of the $500 Odyssey Batteries voucher. Nice. There's yours, my friend. There you go. 11.3s tonight, mate. Must be happy.
Yeah, Sydney Dragway, thank you for the offer, and love racing here as always, and the car's going good. I'm happy with it. And just an opportunity to come out and have fun and run good is good, yeah. Thank you.
Well, Vic, it's great to have you here, mate. And as I said, they are the votes that have come in from around the world and around Australia.
Thank you for everyone voting, and I hope you like the car, and hopefully it'll go a little bit faster the next run.
Hope so. Well, mate, we'll just get a photo of you with your voucher in front of your car, and then we'll be right to go.
Thanks, Stewie. Good work down there.
As always, Stu putting in a lot of effort down there on the ground. Of course, trying to get the information from the drivers and riders, the backstory of what they've been up to, who their workshops are, what modifications they have done to their vehicles.
Yep.
Does a really good job week in, week out. And the Golf, Mark, the Golf takes that one out, 12.18 with a 3.111 mile an hour.
And 13.0.
Next up, we have that Ford Focus over in the Rocket Lane.
Against the BMW.
Focus out in front at the moment by a reasonable ways. And a 14.0 at 118 mile an hour this time around.
And 14.9, 77 miles an hour for the Aeroflow. Commodore Ute down in the Rocket Lane. .7, 106 miles an hour to a 13.7, 103 miles an hour of the Corolla.
Yeah, if they were even off the start line, it would have been a cracker of a race.
Would indeed.
And another close race across the finish line there. Only less than 1/10 of a second between those two.
Yeah, that's a good racing. You look over your shoulder and see the bloke's right beside you.
Yep.
$16.8 to 86 miles an hour to another 16.8 at 86 miles an hour. So absolutely neck and neck there.
Yeah, definitely the difference in the reaction time. Cars held pretty much the same distance all the way down the racetrack.
I've got this little Pulsar down here, guys. Sounds like it's got a little turbo, potentially underneath the bonnet of it. Is taking on the Subaru WRX.
$13,810 miles an hour for the rocket lane.
And a 20.2 at 65 in the Aeroflow lane. Definitely an unrepresentative pass there.
Yeah, smoked the tyre for a fair way.
Yes, that it did. Next up, the R32 taking on the Evo. The Evo not wanting to shift into gear, and the Skyline with all sorts of wheel spin issues. Again with the flame show out the pipe.
I've got to say, boys, I've been very, very impressed with this Eurologic BMW this evening. Obviously, we've seen this car for a fair while. And, you know, when it started off on the street tyres, the guys have been developing this package. And now that it's running the big radials on it, that would be a car that I'd like to see have a crack in our at our state champ rounds. It is super consistent.
Well, the HSV centre. Leaves a line just turning the tyres. But BMW's on the chase. I think he's backed the Commodore down.
Wow, nearly into the nines for the BMW there. 10.09 with a 6, 136 miles an hour. That is one quick machine.
It is indeed.
I think the wheels on the tyres on the Commodore have had enough.
Yes.
A couple of big burnouts like that, they probably need to cool down a little bit, I reckon.
I'll tell you what, the Audis have decided to pop their heads out this evening here at Aeroflow Race for Real. Been a little while since we've seen a lot of Audis out here. I think they thought it was a bit of an Audi night tonight, but it's great to see them out here. Because we know the Volkswagens here at Sydney Dragway are extremely quick, but we don't have a huge amount of super quick Audis. But it's good to see these guys out here having a little bit of fun on the quarter mile. Now, this AMG Mercedes, unfortunately, boys, it doesn't have a rear bar on it. Certainly not slowing it down, though, off the start line. But a huge amount of cars still out the back, ready to hit the quarter mile. Here at Aeroflow Race for Real, don't forget, guys, for all your performance products, do check out Aeroflow Performance, our major sponsor of Aeroflow Race for Real, here on a Wednesday night here at Sydney Dragway. And a lot of our other great sponsors that we've got here as well: Platinum Racing Products, Nitto Performance Engineering, DAF. And if you've got a business and you're looking for some signage, don't forget, guys, get in touch with Pro Signs. The guys will get you sorted for all your business posters and banners that you need. And if you do own a business, guys, and you're thinking, you know what, I'd like to be a part of this drag racing caper, become a sponsor here at Sydney Dragway as well.
.11.4, 124 miles an hour to an 11.5, 113 miles an hour.
Not too much in the start line between these two, but looks like the Aeroflow lane will get to the finish line first. No. Only by a tenth of a second going to the Subaru. 14.55 with a 6. Next up, we'll see the Honda taking on the Mazda.
Well, Mazda didn't have much luck in the burnout. Couldn't get the tyres turning enough to get some heat into them. We'll see how it goes off the line.
In some ways, with the turbo car, a small amount of rotation is not a bad thing, because it allows the turbo to come straight up on boost. 11.76 with a 0.116 mile an hour through the finish line to a 13.8, I think it was, in the Aeroflow lane.
Just while I think of it too, guys, just want to do a quick shout out to the guys from Import Media who just recently been up in Queensland, and they were doing some live streaming of some imports. Of course, they are big supporters of import drag racing in this country. Do check them out on Facebook, guys. They do a great job for the drag racing community.
.14.1, 125 miles an hour to a 13.5.
At 1:35. Something tells me there's a little bit more left in that mark.
Yeah, I think so. We've got the G-Wagon back out again, and right beside him in the burnout is the VL Commodore.
track now. We have the Mitsubishi Lancer taking on the R35 Skyline. The Skyline out in front here, 11:30 at 126.
And 11.2, 108 miles an hour.
And I'll tell you what, boys, you was pedaling that Evo all the way down that lane as well. There's still a little bit left in that car.
I think these two raced each other last time, did they not?
You might be right.
And the results similar. 12.62 with a 115 mile an hour for the Commodore to take the win.
And 12.1 for the Mercedes. $13.7, 103 miles an hour for the Aeroflow to a 15.5, 91 miles an hour.
I think these two raced each other last time as well, Mark.
They did.
The Ranger against the Kia.
Yep. Well, the Raptor was 14.1, I think.
I know there wasn't much in it. At this point, the Ranger is out in front, locked together at the 8th mile mark, and the Kia just in front at 1,000, and will get there first. 13.97 at 107 miles an hour to a 14.25, I think it was, for the Ranger.
Oh, Maz just getting out of shape. $13.5, 110 miles an hour to a 13.7, 119 miles an hour. Well, nice strong burnout from the VZ Commodore.
Away from the line first. Commodore still out in front and is going to take the win here. 12.07 with a 9, 117 mile an hour through the finish line. To a 12.78 with a 7 at 110. Next pair, 12.75 at 111.
And 13.3 for the Aeroflow.
Here's our Odyssey battery voucher winner on the start line in the Aeroflow lane. Now Victor's lined up well and truly not in a straight line or parallel with the wall, is pointing to probably the left-hand edge of the scoreboard down there in the rocket lane, in the Aeroflow lane, I beg your pardon.
Which is very unusual for him in that car, because that car just leaves dead straight and dead straight all the way down the track.
One, 3, 4 to the 60 for Victor on this pass. And runs on through for an 11.32. 118 mile an hour.
And 12.7 for the rocket lane.
I dare say Vic would be pretty happy with that pass, boys. 11.3. It looked a lot more aggressive off the start line. Had a quick word to him before he went out. He's happy with the way the car is coming along, considering he hasn't raced that car for a very, very long time. Of course, we all remember how aggressive that car was off the start line when he used to race it fairly regularly.
$15.0. 12.7. Out and gone, and the BMW chasing, and just goes past him.
Yeah, right on the 1,000-foot mark.
10.8, 130 miles an hour to a 15.1 at 95 miles an hour.
Pretty decent ETs and speeds on both sides of the racetracks. Next up is Brian Addising in the rocket lane. Gets out of the hole with a 3.76.
Oh. That was, yeah, it was indeed.
Yeah, I want to know how that did not end up in the concrete, considering we saw the whole side of the car.
Yep.
All I can say is, if you approach the car, take a deep breath before you open the door. Track walkers just inspecting the lane.
Yeah, just having a look to see if there was a reason why that car just took the angles that it took.
Over in the rocket lane, we've got another one of our Sydney Dragway officials, Sammy Joe, in the red Commodore, recently switching everything over in this car to an automatic. like our Rocket Lane will take the win here. 11.59 with a 118 mile an hour.
Well,
I'll tell you what, guys, it's starting to heat up now. The burnouts are getting bigger. We got two tough cars down on track now. The Eurologic BMW and this HSV Senator. The Senator running a set of radials on the rear end of it.
Smoke just lingering. 11.13 with a 123 mile an hour for the HSV.
And 10.1 for the Aeroflow lane.
Well, boys, unfortunately there for the Datto, there's a lot of water that's coming out of the car. Looks like coolant, boys, so looks like the radiator may have just burst a hose. That's a bit unfortunate there for the driver of the Datsun.
(12.2) at 114 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane.
Rotary powered Mazda on its way on a solo down the Aeroflow lane and runs on through for a 15.2 at 90.8 mile an hour. Next up we'll have the Holden Crewman Ute. Runs on through for 15.71 and 105 mile an hour.
Okay, see what this XT runs through.
It's already gone 10.00 tonight.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, the driver deciding to roll out of the throttle. Big wheel spin on the hit.
into one lane at the moment, just while we're having a bit of a clean-up of that coolant in the rocket lane. Rider on this bike just having a bit of a fight with it, trying to keep that nose down. 12.7, 118 miles an hour.
Brad copping out for another pass on his two-stroke. Went 10.22 on his previous pass. Straight down the center of the lane for Brett. And it runs on through for 10.41. 130 mile an hour.
And Victor back out in the Monte Carlo.
Looking at the ETs that he's run since we've switched over to Pro Tree, 11.32 with a 6, 11.33 with a 3.
Yeah.
And that's just thrown a spanner in the works. 11.28 with a 9.
Just getting quicker.
Yes.
$16.8, 88.2 miles an hour. Audi down in the Aeroflow lane, as we've still got the rocket lane down. 60 foots at a 175. to 124 miles an hour.
Yeah, speed pretty similar there to previous passes,
Yep.
but the ET much faster.
Oh, bit of a problem there by the looks of it. Done the right thing. Got it right over against the wall.
That driver doing exactly what we ask. If you feel there's an issue, pull over to the side as soon as it's safe to do so. If you are leaking or have broken something, one of the officials will let you know. If it's okay, if you're not dropping anything, it's okay to make your way to the finish line, the official will wave you onto the finish line. If you're leaking oil or broken something, we'll either push it back to the start line or send the recovery quad, just like right now.
Well, it's a bit of a shame there for the Audi, but just while he gets towed off, I'll give a quick hello. Hey, mate. Eurologic, mate. You guys are on fire tonight.
We're about to... Someone call the fire extinguisher, man.
Mate, you guys doing a great job, and we love seeing this car come out and the progression of the car as well.
I just want to give a shout out to Billy from the workshop. He's the one that, you know, was working on the car last night, and he's sitting up on the grandstand. Everyone say hello to Billy. He's waiting for a 9-second, but I don't know.
Oh, mate, you're so close. Doing a great job.
You have to tell him.
Oh, to Billy. Hey, Billy, put your hand up, mate. Where are you in the crowd? Where are you, Billy? Hey? Out the back, is he? Oh, he's out the back, is he? Well, I'll tell you what, guys. You guys are on the right path to be running a 9-second pass in that car, which would be an awesome achievement. And to do it right here at Sydney Dragway as part of Aeroflow Race for Real. We love seeing PBs. And for us commentators as well, you know, we love seeing the progression of everybody's car. So fingers crossed, we'll see that car in the 9s in the future.
Let's see if this can be the pass to see that single digit at the front of the ET. .162 to the 60. And a 10.21, 136. Not quite the result that they were looking for, but certainly a step in the right direction.
Yeah, indeed. Showing plenty of good signs that it won't be far off a 9. We've got the Premier just leaving the line. 11.3, 119 miles an hour.
Yeah, that car's running very consistent as well.
And the HSV Senator just moving into the lights.
And runs on through the finish line at 11.16 with a 7, 125 mile an hour.
Well, back to 2 lanes again. 12.9 to a 12.9, 106 miles an hour to a 109 miles an hour. Zero, 126 miles an hour, but problems for the other Skyline in the rocket lane.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for tonight's Datto-themed Aeroflow Race for Real here at Sydney Dragway. Hope you enjoyed all the action. Big thank you to all the spectators that came out tonight and also to all our racers. What a night, boys.
Yeah, I've had a great time up here, Stu. It's been fantastic calling all of the variety of cars that we've had here tonight, and of course all the different combinations. You've done a fantastic job as always down in the staging lanes, talking to the racers and riders, getting the lowdown on their cars and what they've done and who works on them for them. And it's been an absolute pleasure to bring the show to everybody that's either been at the venue or who has joined us on the live stream via YouTube. Always great to have your company and grab your comments and chatter when we can. On behalf of the track management, we'd like to thank everybody for coming along and wish you safe on the roads. Keep your eyes on the track's website, www.sydneydragway.com.au, for all posts and information regarding the racetrack. Like us on Facebook if you haven't already. Mark, Stu and I will look forward to seeing you again here next week from 6 p.m. on Wednesday, as we are every Wednesday night here at Sydney Dragway for Aeroflow. And from there, we wish you a good night.
Yeah, and thanks to all the guys from the Datsun Car Club coming out. Made it a sensational night and hope you all had a great time. Have a safe trip home and see you all next